Lekcja mojego kiedyś.
Your transfer knowledge will have knock-on effects with Final One Stand-In by William Hill. It's free to play with a chance to win a share of £500,000. No admin fees and guaranteed winners. All you got to do is pick one Premier League team each week. If they win, you're through. If they lose or draw, you're out. Download the William Hill app, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in the description below to enter. Register for free and make your picks for a shot at £500,000. You have to be 18 or over, and it's UK and Ireland only. Remember to always gamble responsibly, and the full terms and conditions apply. Link for that is in the description. Yo, people, welcome back to another show. It's a big bomber today, man. There's a lot, there's a lot dropping. There's a lot dropping today that I did not have planned or in my head when I was first making this stream last night. I was just scheduling it because it's been a couple of weeks since we caught up. And I said, yeah, let's just run this stream. Let's just catch up. Let's just update ourselves. Let's just discuss Q&A, ARMANI exchange, what's going on. And it's just been news after news after news after news after news today. So if in the end, everything's just ended up being perfectly timed. So yeah, listen, am I too loud? Sorry, guys. Let me turn myself down if I'm too loud. All right. Talk to me now. Am I good? Am I okay? I'm good now. Yeah. I ended up turning that up too much just because I thought you lot wouldn't be able to hear me. All right. I'm all right now. Am I all right now? Okay. Right, cool. Let's do this. What have we got? Am I cool now, yeah? All right, cool. I'm good. Where do we start? I've got a list. I've got notes made. Any questions, any queries, put them in the chat. Of course, I'll answer anything because last video we did was... I'm not going to lie, it was a bit of a rant. And I don't really do that often. And it's only done when I really feel like I need to get it off my chest. And that's what I needed to do. I needed to vent. I needed to get that off my chest, okay? I have now. And it's done. I mean, next time I speak about him, if it's confirmed, if it actually happens, do you know what I mean? Then I'll do a calmer reflection on the situation. But I had to say something, bro, because I've been ignoring that one for a while. I've been ignoring that, Garnacho. But Fabrizio is just... I don't know if it's just me, but guys, Fabrizio is just every day on this. Like, we get it, brother. We get it. All right? We know he's linked. We know that we're playing the long game. We're going to negotiate the fee down, maybe get into the Premier League season. Maybe it's a deadline day, loan obligation, low fee. We get it, bro. You don't need to come and crash it on us every day. I'd be just walking in the park, just taking in the good fresh air, you know what I mean? Just enjoying my day, sun's shining. And then Fabrizio would just go and drop that. I'm just like, why? Like, have I not suffered enough? You know what I mean? I don't get it. But yeah, there's loads to get into today. Big up everybody in the chat. I'll be going through all the tweets that's been going on today as well. But let's start off with what we haven't addressed on the channel that's been confirmed, because I haven't really been doing all the little bits and pieces, because when you've got as many players to get rid of as we do, it's just an ongoing, constant, influx of information at all times. Exit here, exit there. They are very quick on the exits. Chelsea, fair play to them so far this summer. They have to be. They have to be, because we've got so many players to get rid of. And there's still loads more. So they had to be swift and quick with it. So I've got here Hato obviously confirmed. We just saw the posting from Chelsea just the last couple of minutes or so. Lovely photography once again. The media team smashing it all summer. Beautiful vibes with the João Pedro post. Now this post. He's put out some quotes. The usual, stuff that you expect from a new player when they join. So he's here now. Interested to see what shirt number he's going to get. Obviously, he's kind of like a left-back / centre-back. We spoke about that in the video, how I feel about Hato. So be interested to see what he's going to get. But like I said in the video, I like this signing. When I talk about timelines, when I talk about profile of player, yes, we could have got an overlap left back. Okay, we haven't. We've decided to go with more of a Renato Veiga, profile in terms of centre back, left back. But we're getting an aggressive defender in the likes of what we had with Rudiger. Obviously, way younger, but we all know that he had mistakes in his game, what he came to be. And you love that aggression in your back line. You love that person that will go maybe man for man. I always say centre-back partnerships, you need an aggressor, you need a calm head. Not saying he's going to play centre-back a lot, because obviously we've got Badiashile, Colwell, but if he has to go in there, and that might just actually be your sneaky centre-back signing. A lot of you guys want centre-back signings. That probably is your kind of sneaky centre-back signing because he can play both. Can he overlap? So can he, and I'm asking, can he whip in across like Reece James? Can he whip in across like Kirkes? Can he whip in across like Trent? I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of flat crosses. I've seen like a lot of loop-in switches of plays good at as well. I haven't seen a whip. And that's why when I say overlap, I don't mean just the ability to run, because he can clearly run. He's a fast individual. He'll play in the high line. He'll recover very well. But on that overlap, can you fizz a ball? Because we see it on the right, what it can do for us when it's, Gusto in his form or Reece James, obviously at the peak of his powers. I'm just trying to get the same on the left. I don't think we have that on the left. But it is what it is. But like I said, you guys let me know if I'm wrong on that. But he doesn't feel like that type of guy from the little I've seen. I'm gonna go through super chats in just a second. So Hato confirmed. Like I said, good piece of business. Him and Cucurella, experience, youth. Timelines are all online there, all on point. Perfect. There was some breaking news today about Tyrique George as well, guys. Look, I don't really see it as a surprise. I'm not going to lie to you. When you look at the amount of attackers that we're bringing in and you look at the amount of forwards that are coming into the club, we've literally restructured our entire attack, signed a ridiculous amount of forwards, but it had to be done because we had to let some go. And obviously one is suspended. Is George really going to get the minutes? No. So in my head, minimum he's going on loan anyway. A permanent transfer, again, when you've got Quenda, Kendry, Paez coming back from their loans in 2026, a permanent transfer with a buyback or matching rights, or just a straight permanent transfer, I don't think it's a big deal. During the season, he contributed. He had some nice cameos. Lovely goal against Fulham. Very important goal against Fulham. Obviously, the Conference League appearances. Do I feel like he was like a Hudson-Odoi level talent when he first broke through? No. Do I feel like he's an Achampong level talent where I would be devastated if we let him go? Because I do believe he's like a Huijsen, Yoro, all these young centre-backs that everybody's raving about. I think he's in that caliber, that tier, just needs the minutes. So no, I'm not devastated. No, I'm not. Good young player. I think and RB Leipzig interest is interesting, guys, because of course we know we're trying to get Simmons, but I do believe George he's not a touchline winger, doesn't have loads of pace. It feels like a kind of 3-4-3 inside forward type player. The goal that he scored against Fulham, he was playing up front. He's got a good shot on him. I feel like he's better in central areas, maybe like wide inside forward kind of areas. I don't really see him as kind of like blistering pace, 1v1, out on the flanks, isolated. It doesn't feel like that kind of player. So I'm not too bothered about him going. Obviously, Rio obviously smashing it at Liverpool in pre-season. That's another talent from Cobham that we obviously let go. He looks like he's going to be a ridiculous player. He's obviously only 16. Everybody's been raving about Downman as well at Arsenal. So we'll get onto it in a minute with Garnacho. But this is what I'm talking about when I say you can see, you can smell, you can sense the level of talent when it's there and when it's just the tier below and the tier below and the tier below. And we got some serious breakouts coming out of top clubs this season in the Prem. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. But George, I wish him the best of luck, man. I don't want to be hoarding. I've said this before. I know we're going to be stockpiling because that's what we do, but I don't want to be hoarding talents just for the sake of it. If George is not going to get minutes, there's no point keeping him. We need him to develop. We need him to kick on. Esteval's coming in, of course. He's training this week or the week coming. So we need to be clearing some space for some people to breathe. It's very claustrophobic right now. So yeah, George can definitely go and develop and improve and go and get regular game time. And yeah, it makes perfect sense that he would want that. Let's just quickly hit up a couple chats here before I move on. You're the new SD. What would you do? Ins and outs. Big up, brother. Domini. So what would I do? Well, my sale list is here. I would first of all, well, let's just see. we got a lot of sales to do. So you've got to move on. Anselmino on loan, the Argentine defender. He's not going to play. Didn't play in not pre-season, Club World Cup, but he's just not going to play. Come off the bench one time. Leslie Ugochukwu. I think he's really talented. I think there's a lot of clubs in the Premier League sleeping on him right now. There's a lot of Premier League clubs right now that should be signing him. I think Chelsea are very stat padded in this position, and they have not really prepared this player on the development path and plan that he should have been on. I don't like the loan to Southampton. I don't like the fact that we haven't been able to send him to Strasbourg, or the fact that we've been able to prioritize his development, because I think there's a lot of talent there. And when people say, oh, he didn't play at Southampton for the first few months, Neither did Santos at Forest, you know. Neither did Gilmore at Norwich. And Guiu at Sunderland we're going to get to in a minute. But for me, there's a lot of talent in this player. Definitely could have made it at Chelsea, I think, Ugochukwu, but he's clearly not going to get the game time or the chances, so he's got to go. Regretfully, I think, for me. Disasi's got to go. That's another one. Sterling's got to go. Chilwell probably going to be alone again, but he's got to go. Renato Veiga's got to go. Dewsbury-Hall, for me, I would sell as well. I think you should get good money in for him. He's obviously doing the squad player thing, but again, I've mentioned the Penders, the Kendry Paez's. Even right now, the Palmers, Simmons is going to come in. Esteval, there's just no space, really. There's no need. It's just you could just get some money for him there. Nkunku, and then yeah, that's all the sales. And I would only bring in one more tackle, which would be Simmons, and I'll shut the door on the rest of the rumours and noise. And that would probably be it, because you're not going to get the goalkeeper. And I've come to this point now where Mike Maignan was clearly the moment that we could have got the keeper. We didn't get the keeper. You know, for whatever reason, the low balling, the incremental add-ons in transfer fees over weeks and all that nonsense. We didn't get the keeper then. We ain't getting the keeper now. So, and that's it really. That's the door shut on the transfer window. Most of it for me should be outgoings. And I would probably look at one more incoming, and I'd be pretty happy after that to just shut it. Assad says they hated Noni and want Garnacho. He's nothing to do with race. You bring up race a lot, brother. I'm not gonna go down that route. There's a lot of black players at Chelsea that are loved and everybody rates, and so I'm not gonna go down that route. But what I will say is, yes, I do believe the questionable attitude that is thrown at Madueke, thrown at Jackson, you're getting pretty similar in Garnacho. For, you know, whatever reason, obviously we've cleared the background checks there, so I can't really moan about that part anymore. But I just feel like we're taking an unnecessary risk in regards to the what's around him. And people will say it doesn't matter because of the brother. It does, because I more than often turn the other cheek when it comes to social media posts from players. When I see very small, insignificant shit happening online, where there is a lot of, you know, kerfuffle between Chelsea fans, players, posting on socials, posting on Twitter, whether it's Fofana, posting on Instagram stories, brick by brick, screenshotted, reposted, made a lot out of, all of that stuff. If you think Garnacho's brother is going to be able to tweet freely about Chelsea, about the manager's decisions, if Garnacho's dropped, if he's not in the team, if he's meant to be a squad player and then the brother's just carefree tweeting, if you don't think that there's going to be a back and forth taking place between Roberto Garnacho and all of these FT accounts, you deluded. you deluded. So the only solution is you just backhand your little brother, bro. That's what it is. You know, if it's got nothing to do with you and you're not allowing it, facilitating it, encouraging it as the older brother, give him the backhand. Give him the little slap across the face. Because if it was my little brother and it was my career that he was playing with online, because he ain't got nothing better to do, it wouldn't run. Not in my household, it wouldn't. You know what I mean? You'd be getting the swift kick. So for me, that's the solution. The solution is not to pretend like it's going to be ignored. Might be ignored by me, might be ignored by you, but it's not going to get ignored. It's going to be in the titles of YouTube videos. It's going to be streams. It's going to be even flagged maybe in a press conference if it gets to that point. It's unnecessary distractions from a team where the mentality is meant to be shifting, going towards winning, going towards maturing, going towards boys to men, you know, going to win trophies now, not on this nonsense that was happening a couple of years back with the penalty situation and against Everton, all sorts. We're past all that now. That's all done. So if you wanted to have the immaturity coming in right now, you're a couple years too late. You know what I mean? You could have done that maybe 2 years ago. We're kind of moving on now. You know what I mean? So that's just how I see that situation. And I hope that I don't have to talk about it during the season, but you know, based upon the past, it's more than likely I'll have to. George rumoured wants more game time, so looking for permanent exit. Leipzig, Mönchengladbach, horror news. Screw pure profit. He is better than Garnacho. Taking Garnacho away from George for a second, I've actually got the deals that we've done with Cobham graduates under this ownership here on a list. So just to bring a bit of clarity to it, we obviously have kept so far James, Levi Colwell and Acheampong. Those are the three that are still in the first team from Cobham. Trevor Chalobah as well. Hasn't They have obviously tried to move him on before. He is still here now. I haven't seen anything recently about him leaving, so I'm going to just say that maybe they've learned their lesson on that one. And we've let go of currently Gallagher, Mason Mount, Humphreys, Maatson, Lewis Hall, Gilchrist will probably go, Broja, Tina Anderin, and Hudson-Odoi. If I'm being completely honest, if I go through that list, and Gilmore, if he counts, obviously came from Rangers. If I'm being completely honest, going through that list, I'm not really too bothered about most of those exits. Lewis Hall is the only one on that list, really, that I really didn't want to lose. Like, I was strong, please keep, because I think he's going to be England's starting left back, maybe fighting with Lewis Skelly, but I think he's going to be one of the best left backs in the league, etc. Obviously, Cucurella's form has maybe changed the dynamic over there anyway. He would have maybe wanted game time. Obviously, his favourite club is Newcastle, etc., etc. But the rest of those exits haven't really come back to bite us on the arse so far. Gallagher's basically a rotational player at Atletico. Our midfield is absolutely fantastic. You know how much I love our midfield. Mason Mount, not even played for United. Humphreys, I have no issues with that. George, if he does go, no issues there, really. Maatson, again, no issues. And Hudson-Odoi, I think he needed the fresh start. He needed regular game time at Nottingham Forest. And as well as he's done there, I don't think he's done anything there to warrant, we just lost out on a starting winger who's putting up 15 goals, in the Premier League year in, year out, and would have changed the complexion of the way this team plays. So I ain't really got no issue. I don't make issues out of nothing. If there's no issue to be had, there's no issue. And for me, I don't see a massive issue with the Cobham situation so far. They could have easily sold Levi Colwill. Remember, he went out on loan to Brighton. Again, the social media posts, the stories, and all that. Madueke, who was it? I think it was under 21s for England. Madueke, I'm going to bring you back to Chelsea. Everybody going off on Levi Colwill. He didn't even say a word on socials. And people were already losing their shit. They didn't sell him, Reece James is here. He got a bumper new contract, actually. He's on a lot. Acheampong, still here. So the top tier, elite level Cobham talents, in my opinion, are still here. The good talents, very good talents, who will go on to have great careers or very good careers, they can go. They can go. As long as you upgrade on them and you don't, bring in a lesser player for more money, that's when it becomes problematic. Chalobah, Disasi, perfect example. But we haven't got that issue right now, so I'm all right. All right, I think there was one more super chat I need to hit up before I move on. Or maybe two. JJ says, do you not think Garnacho talk is being pushed by his agents? This happened in January and nothing happened. I see a loan at most. I'll be honest, no, I don't think that's the case. Chelsea were very quick to shut down the link to Isak because Chelsea were getting linked almost to everyone and anyone because of the history of how many players we bring in. So it's an easy link to make. It's lazy reporting to do it. And also agents will do it because they know if they put Chelsea's name in there, they can get a bigger contract offer from the club they're at, or they can get other clubs to make quicker moves for the player if they're stalling on the price. This is not one of those situations. This is long-standing interest. This is interest that is market opportunity. And for me, the reason why I was so angry in my video is because I feel like this is more to do with making a profit potentially down the line and an opportunity on someone that is cheap, that can be flipped for an extra 20 million in the next couple of years. And it's not really too much, as much based upon what is going on the pitch as it should be. That might be me just being biased because I don't rate the player, but I am struggling to believe that they couldn't get a better option on this side of the pitch for what they want in the team, in terms of, you could have got a better dribbler. If we're the data, club, and we're the ones with all the access to all the information, from a dribbling standpoint, I'm sure you can find something else, like of a higher caliber. I'm sure you can, I just don't believe that it's purely just down to the player is just like perfectly suited to the system, perfectly suited to the way we play, perfectly suited to, even from an attitude standpoint, missing out on Duran or moving on from Osimhen, or, all these guys that didn't pass the checks. Even if he has passed the checks, again, there is questions there on the personal side. for me, it's just more market opportunity. I feel like it's a lot of market opportunity. And people will say that I'm biased. People will say that, you're just saying that because you don't like him. You can say that. But I haven't been wrong. On a lot of occasions when it comes to pure profit, I've said it from get-go. Whether it be go Diego go, whether it be Guiu, 5 million, I know that brother's going to get flipped. He just is. Do you know what I mean? It's for me, sometimes it's just painfully obvious when we're going to flip someone. And it looks to me like this is one of those ones where they just can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. Made my point that, because when people are coming back to me and they're talking about fearless dribbling, what does fearless dribbling mean? Like, that is a volume thing, right? That's someone who dribbles, goes at someone 1v1, doesn't actually have a great success rate. However, he keeps trying because he's fearless, because he's confident, because he's brave. These are all admirable attributes or personality, traits. But it isn't actually it's not a great thing when we're talking about watching week in, week out. He's on the starting team sheet if he is, and we got to watch him go 1v1 against a right back, or at home Stamford Bridge type pitch. It's not as funny as it sounds. Sounds fun, fearless dribbling. Sounds hilarious, doesn't it? But it's not really that funny, is it? Because you got to watch that shit. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't. As long as the ego can be kept in check and he can understand and comprehend being a squad player, which is going to be difficult because he's very durable and tactically, I'm sure the manager's going to find, something to kind of lean on him for. But if he can handle being on the bench and his brother ain't going to tweet about it, then, it's not no problem. But hey ho, at least we're getting somewhere. But if there's a problem with being on the bench in this environment, which is highly competitive, everybody's going to probably have to be on the bench at some point because there's just so many talented players. If you're going to kick up a fuss, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So where were we? And let's see. Made my point. They trash Noni and Jackson for bad attitude. Want them sold. Both are better than Garnacho. The same people trying to justify Garnacho. So Assad, let me just say this, right? I hear you, but make no mistake, and I said this with Delap. After the honeymoon period, after the new toy syndrome, after the photos and the media and the music or whatever the way they wish to announce him, after all of that is over and done with, and we're a few months in to the relationship, if there are attitude issues at Chelsea, which I hope there won't be because there hopefully should be better leadership at this club than at Manchester United. Enzo Fernandez, fellow countryman, Reece James, Levi Colwell stepping up now, Cucurella. There should be better leadership. Someone to just say, listen, slap him around the face. You're not doing that shit here. However, if it does happen, do you think our fan base is going to take kindly to it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is not a skin colour thing. If Garnacho steps out of line at Chelsea next season, they will be onto him. Our fan base will be onto him. I have no doubts about that. I have no worries about that. We don't tolerate that here. We don't take unprofessionalism lightly because we're very serious about winning. We're very serious about competing at the top end. And we like a lot of our squad, it seems. So we don't want that compromised or them distracted by foolishness. So you don't have to worry about Chelsea fans being biased or being turning a blind eye to foolishness. That's not going to happen. I'm just trying to warn you in advance that I feel like there's a risk that there will be foolishness. But even if they still get him, like I said, people will be onto him if he messes around. So you don't need to worry about that, in my opinion. You don't need to worry about that. All right, so where are we at now, people? Where are we at now? All right, so we are at, big up the chat. Get your votes in on the poll as well, because in the poll I put up before the stream, the poll has got how many signings do you think we need after Hato's been confirmed? Do we need 1, 2, 3, 4 plus? I know a lot of you still want a goalkeeper. So do I. If I could get at least someone that is ready to take Sanchez's place, or at least really compete with him and say, listen, I'm a top keeper. And I'm ready to take your shot, if you play games one time. Just one pass to an opposition player that leads to a shot. Not even a goal, a shot. and you're out of there. And I'd move Jorgensen on, because I don't really see the point in having a young backup goalkeeper. I don't really feel like goalkeepers can develop if they're... This is a position that you shouldn't be rotating. You know how I feel about defense? You got your back four, you got your goalkeeper. You don't really tend to rotate defenses if you're winning leagues, if you're top defense that you're trying to build. I don't really get the point in having a young goalkeeper. You're not going to be able to give them the opportunities to really play that often, and then flipping them for profit. It's just not really there for me. I think backup goalkeeper, just have some old head there, someone that's dependable, reliable, happy to do the job, keep it moving. Keep all your young goalkeepers out on loan, getting minutes, developing, improving, and then selling them on or coming into play. Same situation that's happened with Petrovic. So yeah, it's a strange one with that. But yeah, the Donnarumma stuff is not even worth discussing, guys. We're not going to sign him. The wages are ridiculous. And basically with Chelsea, all you need to do now is go Google what the weekly wages of the player we're rumoured with. And as soon as you see it cross the 180 mark, you can forget about it, to be honest. It's just not going to run. It's not going to happen. So there's no point discussing it. And that's the same situation here for Donnarumma. We're not going to be bringing him in. He's not going to be signing. Mike Maignan was more realistic because his wages are a lot lower at AC Milan, so you could have actually justified it. You can't justify Donnarumma at 300k a week or whatever he's asking for. And to be honest, as someone that actually but I haven't got like a massive gripe with our wage structure, because I understand how it can benefit us in terms of players being motivated to improve and motivated by the incentives, the bonuses to achieve, and not just take the piss on high wages, easier to flip or move on, let them go if they don't work out. It's not like these big money signings are guaranteed to work out. Of course, we want them. I want a Rodrigo, but there's no telling that a Rodrigo 100% hits. I think he would hit, but I can be wrong. You know, we can all be wrong. If we sign Rodrigo at 300k a week and he flops for whatever reason, financially we might be finished. Do you know what I mean? Or we're not finished, but we're in a Man United situation where it's a Rashford, it's a Sancho, it's a Mount or whatever. So I'm not trying to encourage that, because I don't think it's wise. And I don't think the goalkeeper at 300k a week deserves to be that level of gap to Cole Palmer or Caicedo whatsoever. So we've already started this. There's kind of no turning back now, to be honest. Thoughts on an outside shout like Diogo Costa? I can't lie, I've not watched a whole pile of him. I just know he's incredibly good on the ball, but I haven't watched him so like loads. So I can't say that he's like gonna come in and just immediately upgrade. But I would that's the kind of goalkeeper, if the price was right, that I would bring in, just purely because, okay, at least I know he's competitive to Sanchez, at minimum competitive. He's not like Jorgensen, who's just not hitting the mark, not hitting the grade, not even giving him a real issue, Sanchez, let's be honest. At least this kind of goalkeeper at the right price would be competitive. But yeah, I don't know how much he costs. All right, we got a lot of business to do, boys and girls. There's a lot going on, bruv. Guiu, I think his flight got delayed. Let me know if I'm correct on that, chat. But I think Guiu's flight got delayed to go to Sunderland, but it looks like it's still happening. This is another one where we got to be a bit careful, don't we? Because we've had bad experiences before letting players go on loan to lower league teams just promoted. Gilmore, Andre Santos. I personally would have liked to see Guiu go to a top championship team where he's going to play. He's week in, week out, he's starting. Maybe a lot of you will feel like he's too good for that level, but I think that's a good thing, because the physicality is there in the championship. It's very competitive environment. There's a lot of pressure. High stakes means a lot. Loads of atmospheres, big fan bases and big clubs down there. And I just feel like if he goes down there and he smashes it, say he gets 30 goals, there's nothing bad about that. I think his market value goes up, because then I think a lot of clubs will come in next summer and say, right, there's a teenager that's just smashed it in the championship. He's setting records. If he's that good, go set the record like Mitrovic. Go set the record, right? Like Tony. Go put up dumb numbers. Now there's teams getting promoted from the championship to the Prem that want to buy him. We can charge maybe 20 million, 30 million, because, hey, this guy's just smashed it, right? And he's young. And he's playing. And he's playing on a team that's front-footed, attacking, creating chances. Sunderland, to be fair to them, they do look ambitious, guys. And they do look like a team that want to get up the league quite quickly. They've signed, I've got here, Diarra from Strasbourg. If you guys watched Strasbourg a lot last season, you know Diarra is a very good midfielder. Adingra from Brighton. I think that's a really, really good signing on the wing as well from Sunderland. Enzo Lafille got confirmed. And Granit Xhaka. And then a couple of 20-year-olds from Belgium as well. Obviously, they lost Bellingham to Dortmund. So Sunderland are building a good team. My problem is the team too good? Because this is the problem. If you send him to a mid-table Premier League team, he might not play because they'll just be better strikers. Or Sunderland are linked with Openda from Leipzig. If they sign him, he's coming in to start. They play a 4-3-3 so far in pre-season. They've only played a back three in one game against Sporting Lisbon. It was like a 3-5-2 or a 3-5-1-1. So basically, they're playing with one striker from these pre-season matches, preparing for the Premier League. They're playing with one striker. Bearing in mind that they're coming into the Premier League, I'm not sure their approach on how they played last year and they got through the playoffs. But if they're going to be pragmatic in any way, they're probably more likely to flood the midfield, play one up front and try to keep themselves in games and not be naive and you know, stupid to the point where you're just going to come to the Premier League, play your way, think that you're going to have it all your own way and not actually, you know, tighten up and shore up the ship, which means there'll be one guy up front. And I don't know if he's going to get the minutes. I don't know if he's going to get the game time. So it's a tricky one. You send him to someone too good, he might not play. Send him to someone too shit, they won't create chances for him. They'll get battered every week and his confidence will get absolutely destroyed. The fans will probably start getting onto him as well. The manager will definitely bottle it and put him on the bench because they're not going to trust a young player to keep them up in the Prem. So that's why I think Championship for me is, we've got a lot of good loans in the Championship, guys. You know, James, Tomori, Mason Mount. I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting, but we have a good history of sending to Tammy Abraham to Aston Villa. We got a good history with that. So I kind of wish we would do that more often, but it is what it is. We have a loan coordinator. Surely we have learnt from sending players to places where they don't play. We must have had some guarantees. You'd like to think so. But if they give you the guarantee and there's no repercussions for not following in on the guarantee, everyone can chat. You know, Daniel Levy can tell Harry Kane, I'll give you my word, you're leaving next summer. And then it will just turn into 3-4 seasons, he's still there. Gentleman's agreement ain't really good enough anymore. We need to start putting down penalties. We need to start putting down, you know, repercussions for not playing. If you're going to take someone on loan and you don't give them a certain amount of minutes or you don't give them a certain amount of starts, there needs to be financial penalties for that, financial repercussions. So we know that you're going to pay. One way you're going to pay for not playing this guy. Because they can tell us one thing today and then tomorrow they can go and sign another striker and then we look like idiots. So hopefully there's things in the deal that will just keep them humble or keep them honest. To be honest, you know, that's what it is. And this is why you'll see George, for me, go on a permanent. Maybe there's a buyback, maybe there's matching rights, because clubs are not stupid. Unless the player is so talented to the point where having them on loan is an absolute blessing. And it's something that they could just never have foreseen, having a player of that quality at their club, say like a Reece James at Wigan. They're not really going to prioritise playing the player that's on loan because they have nothing to gain. They're going to, yes, they might get more points, but they're also thinking, this guy's not going to be here next season. We're not going to be able to sell him. We're not going to be able to get him back on loan if he plays well because he's going to want to go somewhere else. So we're not really gaining anything in the medium long term. So they are more likely to shun them and put them on the bench. And then when you think about it from a managerial standpoint, are you going to play the kid that's here for a year and is thinking about pastures new? Or are you going to play the guys that, you know, they went to the absolute trenches with you last season in the Championship? There's a bond there. You know, there's all those intangibles that made a Klopp keeper Henderson, for instance. So I don't know. I just feel like there's too many reasons why it could go wrong. Not enough reasons why it goes right more of the time. Increased loan fee. Yeah, anything, bro. Anything to just keep them honest, bro. I don't want us to be lied to. Do you know what I mean? It's a very easy flip to do. Guiu, 5 million he cost from Barcelona. You get 20 million for him next summer. 15 million profit. Bang, Bob's your uncle. Job done. It's as easy as that. And it's writing's on the wall. You know what I mean? I hate to be the bearer of bad news if you're a big Guiu fan, but that's just how I see it. You got Delap there, 30 million. You could even look at him and start to think, damn, that's a very interesting price tag because that's easy profit margins as well. Guys, this is reality. You gotta keep your wits about you. You know what I mean? You gotta make sure that you keep your head on a swivel, like you're living in London. You know what I mean? You keep your head down too long, you might get your phone snatched by a moped. You know, a moped rider. You gotta think about these things. If someone comes in that cheap, it's good business, but it means it's easy to do good business again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Let's see what happens. But I would not be surprised to see that. I would not be surprised to see that. I mean, look at Petrovic. Outstanding loan at Strasbourg. Flipped. Easy flip. So much so there was a bloody release clause in his contract. That's how they couldn't even be asked negotiating for the 30 or 35. They just said, yo, dash a release clause in there, guarantee that flip on the accounting books, on the accounting spreadsheets. Because they didn't see a big enough differential between him and Sanchez to bother with the whole malarkey of having two competitive keepers or whatever. They just said, listen, you're good. You had a great season, player of the year. But we don't think you're that good. We don't think you're elite. So we're just going to flip you. And Guiu ain't going to be to the point of elite where it's like, you have to keep him, in my opinion. Not off what I've seen so far. And I was saying that in the Conference League games when he was bagging, you know, and people will get angry in my reviews when I say it, or when I say George, good player, but don't think he's going to be an elite talent here. I don't think he's going to necessarily make it here. People go mad. But then when they're leaving, now all of the truths come out. Everybody's like, not really that bothered anyway. Where was his energy months ago? Now you're not bothered. Now you don't really care too much. And it's the same with the incomings. When a man's incoming, suddenly people rate him. That's not what I saw last season when they were actually playing football. No, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Here's what it is. Right, we're gonna go through the chat. We're going through the chat. Big up 1.8k in the building. Big up everybody in the chat. Loving the stream. There's so much more to get into, man. Absolutely. We got Broja. So guys, I went to bed early, so I missed the kind of Broja announcement that he was leaving to Burnley on a permanent. Obviously, he has loaded injury issues. He had that loan at Southampton where he got like 6 goals in like 32 or whatever it was. Again, another one to just move on, pure profit, off the books, keep it stepping. Hopefully he revives his career and he has a decent career, but it ain't happening here. How much? How much from Burnley? Because I can't seem to find the fee anywhere. No, is it undisclosed? Some of you guys were telling me like 20 million. Some people telling me like 15 with add-ons. And anyone in the chat actually know how much we're getting for Broja? Because I actually have no idea. What is a successful season for Chelsea looking like for you? I think for me, there is no conversation about top 4. Absolutely no conversation. None. That's progression. The points, I'm looking at 75 right now to 80. If you're going to be a title-winning team, you need to be talking about 90. I don't think we're a 90-point team. Shoot me. I don't think we're a 90-point team. I don't think we're there yet. I've seen us win Champions League. I've seen us win Club World Cup. I've seen us win in Europe and in the world and not follow that up with a 90-point season. I don't want people to get lost on how difficult it is to do a 90-point season. It don't get done often. Only the best of the best Chelsea teams with the best of the best managers have got it done. It's the Contes. And even Conte, if you remember that Chelsea team, 1 game a week with Diego Costa in his prime, Cesc Fabregas in his prime, David Luiz, Nemanja Matic, N'Golo Kante in that Conte side, Eden Hazard, Willian Experience, Aspilicueta, Courtois. 1 game a week. 1 game a week. The last Chelsea team to win the title playing Champions League, what, Jose Mourinho? 2015. So, look, you know I live in the real world. And I'm just telling you that it's our first season back in the champs. We just come off the Club World Cup. I have no idea what the recovery is looking like for these players, how they feel when they come back, because obviously there's a friendly next Friday and next Sunday against Leverkusen and Milan, I believe. I want to hear what the manager has to say about the fitness conditions, just how people are feeling after going through that extended season. And then we go from there. Do I think we can be up there? Absolutely. But you know me, if I don't have us as favourites to win it, or I don't smell the win of the league, smell a title winning team, which is what you can kind of sense after a 2-1 Burnley win, when Fabregas slips in Schürrle, or you can 3-1, sorry, you can sense it after a 3 at the back change and Marcus Alonso, that winning run. If I don't get a sense for it, then I'm not going to harp on about it, because I'm not interested in second or third, like which position, who do we finish ahead of? Are we finishing ahead of the champions? Are we finishing ahead of Liverpool? If we're not, no problem. We talk about the cups. Let's go do a domestic cup double. Let's go win the Champions League. I think we can do a domestic cup double, or I think we can win the Champions League. That for me is a successful season. You're doing 75 to 80 points. You're improving on the points. You're getting a cup double, or at least a cup, and you're getting... Hey, if you want a dream, Champions League's always there for a dream, because you know that Champions League is just knockout football. That's what we're good at. So that's where you can dream. That's where I don't have to be maybe in reality. But for me, title is 90 points, and we're not, if you're getting in a Garnacho, that don't sound like 90-point left wing to me. That don't sound like a... Now, obviously, if Cole Palmer does a madness, if, others step up and do crazy things, then of course, you never know. But when I'm hearing about Garnacho coming in, that's not what I needed to feel like a 90-point team. That's not what I needed on that left wing to feel like 90 points. Because remember, Gittins is still, 20 years old, also inconsistent, also needs, time to develop and to improve and to be rotated. So in my head, I'm looking for a starting left winger. And Garnacho for me is better off the bench based on what I've watched. So that left wing for me is still a bit... all I can really hope is that Gittins just explodes out of nowhere, because he just got stupid PMP, stupid dribbling. Hopefully them shots just go in off the right and things just go off. You know what I mean? I'm actually better. I'm feeling better about the unknown in Gittins than what I know in Garnacho. What I know scares me more than what I don't know. That's how I feel. So I'm hoping Gittins just explodes this season, to be honest. That's what I'm hoping for. But I don't want to put him under that crazy pressure, because it's not really fair. Who says Nacho would want to leave if he's on 7-year deal? Obviously you have to get the player to want to go as well. If it doesn't work out and he's on a 7-year deal, and I said this in my video, yeah, you in theory should be able to move him on for more money, because that price point, 30 million, 50 sell. But he actually has to want to go. He has to actually find somewhere that he thinks is better for his career, or he has to also play his part in that. Madueke, people will say he's a snake, but he's not, because a lot of people wanted him gone for the inconsistency, for the high shot volume but not conversion. And funnily enough, the only team, luckily for us, that was willing to go and get him for the money that we needed was Arsenal. If we hadn't have sold him to Arsenal, really, where would we have sold him? Italy have got no money. Spain, don't even ask, really, unless it's a Atletico, because Barca can't register anything. And Real Madrid, if it's not a free, they're not interested. PSG, no chance. He's not going there. Germany, maybe Bayern. The rest of them, broke. Can't even get Chukwuemeka to Dortmund. Can't even get Maatsen to Dortmund last summer. Or Sancho. To Man United, they can't get a fee. So there's not a whole pile of clubs with money for this pure profit, or this profit margin for you to actually get. If you're going to get that profit margin, it's 80% chance it's going to come from the Premier League. And if it's coming from PSG or Real Madrid or Barca, the chances are you don't actually want to sell that player. Because if those clubs are interested, why are you letting him go? So for me, when we're talking about just bringing in these guys willy-nilly and, we'll just get the profit, that's cool. If they actually want to go. if these clubs actually need them, or they actually need a winger, or they actually need the type of player. Man United are trying to sell him right now. I don't see no English clubs interested apart from us. And there was a rumbling about Aston Villa, but it was all PSR because, of course, they may be looking at a Watkins or, you know, a little swap there. Tottenham, unserious, no concrete interest. So, and you know, he's available. He's available. So hopefully Arsenal were to pull through if that situation was to arise, but it's not always as easy as it sounds. They cry about Mount and Gallagher both. Trash. Big up to Assad with a super chat. All right, cool. And that's why, you know, even though, and listen, he's 20, so in theory, it should be fine. It should be okay to move him on. Napoli have always been interested, but again, have they got the money? Depends. It always just timing at the end of the day. The timing has to be right. His ceiling, I don't know, feels like a Martinelli. I think I like that comparison in some ways. I think Martinelli's not the greatest of dribblers either. He's definitely got goals in his game, definitely works hard, definitely gets himself into good positions, especially when Arteta was playing more direct, more free-flowing, more, you know, fearless dribbler, all that type of shite. So that's actually a decent comparison, to be honest. Big up, yeah, smash up the lights, let's get to 500. I like that comparison. I also made the Lap Gyökeres comparison when I was talking about Gyökeres signing for Arsenal. People were raising their eyebrows, but I do believe that the Lap is similar in some ways to how Gyökeres is. And to be honest, that's why when we signed him for 30 million, I didn't really want Gyökeres anymore because I just feel like we've already got Delap. And I think Delap can be better than Gyökeres. Absolutely. He's still young. Gyökeres is a lot older, but there's a lot of similarities in their game. I think they're quite in how they need to be used to get the best out of them, which is, I think, be direct, get the ball forward quickly, runs in behind, maybe not the greatest in the air, but good finishers. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of comparisons there, and people, you know, people don't want to hear it, maybe, but as man said, more Lewandowski. Yeah, you're moving mad. You're moving mad. All right, cool. So where are we at, chat? What are we else? So we've talked about Guiu. We've talked about the risks to Sunderland. Obviously, Kendry Paez is confirmed. Samuel Smith is confirmed. Penders is confirmed. I think Mamadou Sarr is confirmed according to Transfer Market. I don't know if that was actually confirmed on Twitter or by Fabrizio or Ornstein or anything, but I'm pretty sure he's going back to Strasbourg on loan. I'm almost 100% sure that was confirmed. So those are the guys that have gone to Strasbourg plus Amadou, the midfielder. Amugu, sorry. So yeah. Away you go. Strasbourg will be very interesting to watch next season with a lot of our players there once again. And hopefully Penders in particular and Paez absolutely smash it at Strasbourg. Anselmino, not sure where he's going to go, to be honest. He was obviously injured towards the back end of last year. And obviously didn't get the move to Marseille on loan. So I'm not too sure 100%. Who's this? I'm not sure. Moral B sent their viewers. Big up. Big up. Is that LB? Is that LB? Oh, it is LB. So why did it come up as more LB? Oh, more LB. Okay, yeah. I keep forgetting his channel's called that. I was expecting to just see LB, you know what I mean, as the channel, but it's more LB. All right, cool. I get it. So how many channels has he got? Is it how many? He's got two. Has he got two channels? Yes, I'm actually blind. Yes. Why is that a shock to you? Like, oh, you think I just wear these glasses for show? You think I'm just wearing them just because I ain't got nothing else better to do than create a character of just pure, you know, blindness? You think I'm wearing this for fashion? You think I'm taking all them 4-eye insults and, you know, googly eye and all that shit from Twitter, you know, all them years just for the hell of it? Now, my contact lenses that I got to put in are long, bro. I've already got some, but they're hard lenses. It's disgusting. Maybe one day I'll even put them on in stream so you can just watch how disgusting it is. Would you like that? If I was to show you the hard lens, I got to open up my whole eye, put the thing in, rolls up to the top of my eyeball, got to push that shit down so it's over the... You think it's a joke? All you brothers and sisters out there that can just see for free. You just see in 4K for free. Don't ever take that for granted, you know. There's some of us out here that can't see. We got when it rains, then there's rain droplets all over our glasses. We got to wipe our eyes. When we driving tests now, you got to read out the license plate. That's a problem. Now you're not, bro, you think it's a joke. And all you lot are just out here just looking around for free. You ain't got to charge. No, you ain't got to pay no fees, no penalty fares, nothing. You just looking around for nothing. Yeah, you lot need to count your blessings more. When you wake up and you don't have to go and reach for your glasses, fam. You just open your eyes, wipe a few boogers, and just go on with your days. It's a fucking disgrace. It's just a disgrace. Oh, man. So, yeah, that's where we're at. All right, so we've spoken about Broja. We've spoken about Guiu. Hato's confirmed. I don't know. Some of these guys are going to get left behind, as I said, man. You know, some of these clubs, they're broke, probably, and they are waiting until the very last day of the window or the last week to look at the Disasis, to look at the Sterlings, to look at the Chilwells. They know they're there. You know, the world has not forgotten about these players. This is Chelsea Football Club. Everybody can search the squad online and see it. Everybody can see Fabrizio's tweets. These players will go. I think they will go. They won't necessarily go permanently, and they won't necessarily go for the fees that you'd like to see, but they'll go because they won't sit in the reserves, I don't think, for a whole year, wasting their time. So, but we may have to, you know, pay half their wages, or we may have to pay 80% of their wages, or we might have to, you know, do a whole heap of things we don't want to do to get these guys to move. But we're not selling all these guys. The list is as it stands: Anselmino, Anselmino, Ugochukwu, Disasi, Sterling, Chilwell, Veiga, Dewsbury-Hall, Nkunku. All still need some sort of resolutions. Situations need to be resolved. All right, cool. Are you really live streaming? Just woke up, bruv. Yeah, bro. Yes, brother. I mean, to be honest, you know, we're gonna be doing a lot this season. There's a lot going on. 2 games a week, and they're actually high pressurized, nervy fixtures for us. You know, Champions League, Premier League, Champions League, Premier League, back to back to back. It's gonna be a long season. Then we got the World Cup next summer. So when there isn't loads going on in this period, this is a time to go see family members. This is a time to go outside, smell the air, go meet up with a friend you haven't seen in a long time. Go and do this, go do that. Build studios, build sets. You'll see soon all these things. You know, for me, when the sun's shining like this and there's not loads going on, there's no need for me to be moving mad on here. You know what I mean? I'll come in here when I gotta come in here. Keep up to date with you guys. Make sure that I'm not missing anything. But we're gonna be here all season. It's gonna be busy in literally a couple of weeks. So I'm almost encouraging you to go outside as well. Don't look for me, bruv. I'm here. I'll be here when I need. Don't look for me. You look for your family members. You know what I mean? Make sure. Have you spoken to your mother in the last 2 months? That's what I'm interested in. Do you know what I mean? Did you speak to her? Did you wish her well? Have you caught up with her? See if she's all right. You know what I mean? The sun's shining, brothers. Let's all touch grass. Facts. Because I'm telling you now, this weather, don't take it for granted. Because I'm telling you, it's going to change soon, guys. This shit's going to change real soon. And you're not going to like it. So you better enjoy this shit while it lasts. Because it's beautiful out there. I ain't seen shit like that. Global warming is really kicking on right now, isn't it? It's really starting to... Stocks are up. Stocks are up. Because it's hot. Often. It's not going to be... Not for long, though. Not for long, guys. Shit's happening soon. Winter's coming. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whole heap of content's going to be coming. When it's nasty outside, you lot locked up indoors, can't go out there. Uploading will be happening, absolutely. Champions of the world. Indeed, brother. Have I missed anything? Let me see. Nope, I haven't. Cool. Am I going to the parade? I've just seen that's next Wednesday, isn't it? So, I don't know. I think... Okay, so, yeah, this is another thing we need to get into because it ain't all bloody roses and... I don't even know what the saying is. It ain't all sweet. It ain't all sweet. Listen. I'm not I'm not one to be complaining to, I'm not one to feel hard done by, because, I definitely pick and choose when I want to go watch the games. I used to go a lot more often. Now I'm a content creator. I stream. I enjoy the watch along, so I'm not one to be complaining. I did the Euros away. Stamford Bridge atmosphere is a bit iffy, so I prefer to do the trips and vlog it and show you guys the world. And, that was really fun to do that. And I like the away games. But I have no divine right to feel like I should be at every game, or, because I'm not a season ticket holder or anything. But what they're doing with that Ticketmaster thing right there is a fucking disgrace. I'm sorry. That is a disgrace. That can't run. You gotta get rid of that. That's not gonna fly. I actually don't know how that's up and running and no one ain't outside. Talk about protesting shit. That's actually something worth protesting, to be honest. Not transfer business. You're not really gonna get anywhere with that. I'll be real. Not really gonna get anywhere with that. But Ticketmaster, where them are 90,000th in the queue, and then when the tickets are all sold, now them are selling lower Matthew Harding for 300 quid against Crystal Palace. Did we not already discuss this with Vivid Seats and all of that commotion? Premier League, are you going to get involved? Are you going to talk? Are you going to step up? Do something about this, because that can't run. All season long, them are going to be in all sorts of crazy positions in the queue. I don't know if the season ticket holders are okay, because they've had their loyalty for all these years. I'm assuming that they have got their tickets, and this is more members that are affected. But why is anybody paying 60 quid for a membership? Which is what I would, do. I'd go and get the membership and then just get whatever ticket I can whenever I want to go. How the hell is anybody paying for a membership and then getting stuck in that queue? How the hell is that happening? Now, yes, the stadium is not the biggest. Yes, okay, we need to make more revenue, but not like that. Not like that. There are certain ways to do things, and that is not one of the ways. We know that we need to move stadium. We know that we need to expand. We know that we need to talk to the CPO and everything needs to be passed. And again, an actual project and an actual plan needs to be presented in a location that is attainable. Earls Court, I don't know what the latest update is, but as far as I was concerned, they're building some sort of amusement park, shopping centre, all sorts of things, flats and whatnot. So you've got to find something that works. And it ain't going to pass in Surrey, and it ain't going to pass in Kent. It ain't going to pass in West Ruislip. No, of course not. It's not easy. That's why Roman didn't get it done. If it was so easy and there wasn't, a line of sight that you can't build above, and, St. Paul's Cathedrals and Richmond Park. If it was so easy, Roman would have done it. That's why you have to read. That's why you have to research before you buy clubs. Because shit ain't sweet. It ain't easy. We're on the richest land. You know what I mean? However, that doesn't mean you get to take the piss like this. So, I don't know what's going on there, but that shit needs to be rectified and sorted, because that is not going to work. This is not an Ariana Grande concert. This is not Taylor Swift. There's no Ticketmaster. And I'm sure Ticketmaster is linked to Clear Lake Capital or whatever in some way, some shape or form. That is wrong. That is wrong. Yeah, and you know what's going to happen is, of course, you're going to get a lot of bots, you're going to get a lot of resellers, you're going to get people that don't even support Chelsea, people that maybe support Arsenal, support Man United, and they're not interested in going to the game, but they're going to buy up a whole heap of tickets, and they're going to sell them on at an extortionate price, and actual Chelsea fans are going to have to pay the price. And that is wrong. That is so wrong on all levels, and we can't get too comfortable with these things, because when we do, we lose everything. So I don't know when that's going to I don't know what's going to happen there, but maybe because it's off season, no one's actually going to the bridge, and we're just seeing it online, all the kerfuffle. But I'm assuming at some point I'm going to start seeing some banners and posters about that, because that's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's a presentation, not a parade. Yeah, it's not a parade. It's a presentation indeed. We don't really need to do a parade, I'll be real. The players are obviously on holiday anyway, so we can't ask them to be at a parade. And to be honest, I don't really think it needs a parade. I don't think it needs a parade. It's a great achievement, but it's not the Premier League and it's not the Champions League. It's not. It's kind of jousting for me in third, maybe above the FA Cup. Depends how you feel. Depends, obviously, yes, the FA Cup is the most historic cup of all time in the history of the sport. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But obviously, the Club World Cup, I definitely hit, you know what I mean? And now I got gold badge in the middle of my kits, and it hit. I was retweeting, liking, all sorts of posts. Like 7 days later, I was still enjoying all the celebrations. So I definitely felt that win, and I definitely felt, you know, good, great, actually. So it means a lot. I do think it means a lot, and it will mean more as they, you know, as the more competitions and other clubs get in there and whatnot. So you know, it's jousting there, maybe around with that trophy of the FA Cup, but it's not a Champions League and it's not a Premier League. So that for me is parade worthy. That's parade worthy. I don't think we need to be doing a parade. All right, cool. All right, let's go through a few more chats. Any questions? Throw them in the chat. I'm trying to keep up. LFC Sai says, Mal, what midfield would you want to see next season if Lavia stays fit? Does he start in this midfield? If he starts, will you be okay with Cole Palmer playing right? To be honest, obviously people will do their Chelsea starting 11s, right? And they'll do their strongest teams. I don't believe we have a strongest team. I don't even want to talk about B teams anymore, because I feel like B team last season didn't work out very well. When we actually needed them to perform against Newcastle at St. James's Park, the B team found out that they weren't ready for that shit. Now, yes, maybe the B team is better this year, but I don't really ever feel like 11 changes to a team is a good idea anyway. If you need to win that game and it's not a friendly and it's not a last game of the league phase in the Champions League and there's no repercussions, you shouldn't really be making 11 changes, because it's very likely the team going to be disjointed. They're not going to really understand each other's movements, or they're not going to be that, you know, in sync. And you're just asking guys that are a little bit rough around the edges, haven't played in a few weeks, to come together and put in a masterclass. It's very unlikely. So I'm not really thinking B team, and I'm not really even thinking strongest 11. Obviously, yes, I have my preferred 11. If I had everybody fit, this is what I'd put out. But I feel like there's so much quality in certain areas where it just depends on the intangibles of form. It depends on the tactics. This is the thing. If you're playing Cole Palmer at right wing, my head tells me you need the right back to overlap, right? If Reece James is still not allowed to do that because they don't trust him on a fitness standpoint, which I'm not going to argue with because they've kept him fit, and I thank them for that. That means you have to play Gusto. You have to play him because you need the overlap on Cole Palmer if he's playing right wing. And that, we saw it in the Club World Cup final against PSG. It was absolutely immaculate. But is Gusto in everybody's strongest 11? No, he's not, because Reece James is. So Lavia absolutely could play next to Caicedo, or Santos. I believe Santos is just as good as playing as Lavia, you know, in terms of, yes, he offers certain other things, but I rate him with these guys. I think he can hang with these guys. I think he can start for Chelsea. Enzo, but I can't start all four of them. So again, there's no real strongest there. It's based on form. Depends on the game. Depends what you need from the match. Sometimes it might be Simmons in the 10. Sometimes they might put Palmer back in there. If Esteval's in stupid form and he's just taken the league by storm, duck to water, I need Esteval on that right wing because I'm entertained. I need that. But is he necessarily in the strongest 11 from right now? Probably not. So there's not really any way of determining like the 11. There's definitely certain positions where I think is pretty cut and dry right now. I think João Pedro for me right now at 9, after what he did in the tournament, is cut and dry. I think Levi Colwell is cut and dry. I think the goalkeeper right now is cut and dry. Cucurella is cut and dry. Caicedo, cut and dry. Palmer, cut and dry. Reece James, depending on what you need, pretty much cut and dry. But not every position. Not every position. Watch the mods. Wow, what's going on with the mods? What is going on? What is going on? OVO collab. The OVO collab was alright. I didn't really fuck with too much on the collab in terms of the stuff. I didn't buy anything. The only things I've bought is the home kit, the away kit, and the green tracksuit kind of CFC London, which is kind of embedded into it, that the players walk out with. And, you know, it gives me Nigeria vibes in terms of the style of it, the intricacies of it, the design. I just love it. So I got that as well. Not really too bothered on the OVO. It's a quick money cash grab thing for Drake, of course, and his company. Capitalizing off Chelsea winning that. If you like it and it looks good and you're a massive fan of Drake, cool. I'm not really too arsed, I'll be honest. I've not bought over your shit before. Not really gonna buy it now. The designs are alright, but it's not really for me. I'm looking for Jordan. If Jordan and Chelsea do a collab, that's the one where the money's gonna go long. That's the one where purchases are gonna get made. But we haven't done the Jordan. We haven't done the Jordan one. So yeah. Let's see. Big up for another live again. Please make this as frequent as possible. Bro, are you going to do Chronicles of Champions League away days with Skull? Chelsea breakdown Don tonight. So breakdown's been given to Don anyway. So the last breakdown there was on Don's channel, and I was on that one with Alexis, with Tobes, and with Javon. So I've just given him that show. Same way All You Can Eat Chelsea just went to Miz, because to be honest, schedules ain't scheduling. I'm got my hands in way too many different pies. I got Big Six on the weekends. Sometimes I'm doing a watch along. Sometimes we might be doing now more recordings for that, you know, after the watch along, we're all together. Some debate stuff. I got my stuff. I got traveling up and down. It's too many schedules. It's too many schedules. So I've said, like, cool, Don's got it. And even that has still been difficult to schedule because I'm in the group chat, and you know what I mean, it's difficult. So yeah, for me, it's not my show anymore. But if it gets done, then it will be there. What else have I got to respond? Big up the chat. Yeah, no front of shirt sponsor. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. What is going on with the front of shirt? Listen, it's not something I'm really thinking about right now, even though, yes, it does need to be getting done. Look, I really don't understand. If it doesn't get done before the first game, at this point, I'm just like, if this is like a Lord Sugar thing, one of you are fired. But it's not my problem. It's way beyond us. We don't know who the CEO of business is. Maybe his name's on Google. I don't know who's in charge of that. But if I'm the ownership and I'm tasking someone with marketing, business, sponsorship, deals, all that stuff, right? That's that department. And we don't have a sponsor for the first game after just winning the Club World Cup. We're in the best position we've been in under this ownership right now, with the revenue and the eyes on the team and the quality of the team. If you can't get that done, and there's more excuses and there's more delays, and I don't know. At this point, it's not. I don't know. I'm just as baffled as you are at this point. You know, I know they want a 60, 70, 80 million pound deal. Cool. We heard that last time. You know, now you got to get a deal. You got to sort a deal, and you got to come to some sort of agreement. I still don't really buy the whole not having one last year because we had our asking price way too high. Can 1 year deal not be done at 30 million just to get some cash flow in? You know, again, this is above my pay grade. I don't know, but I find it all very odd. That's what I do know. I find it all very strange. Somebody's ass would be on the line. All I know is if it was me in charge, somebody would be under a lot of pressure right now because you're costing me money. That's all I know. Something needs to get agreed, but I don't know who's going to get it done, and I don't really care when it gets done. Just should really be before the start of the season. We're the only club in the English football pyramid without a sponsor. Even #United got sponsor. Big up Spencer FC. You know what I mean? Wash and Go was sponsoring AFTV back in them days when Robbie was going up against Goldbridge. Fam, everybody's got a fucking sponsor, bruv. If I started a team, I'd get a sponsor. Yeah, I don't really mind. I'm not really too bothered because it doesn't really change how we play on the pitch. I just don't want to hear financial issues in the future or any problems financially if we're messing around on things like this. That's the only thing. So yeah, hopefully we get ourselves sorted. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, until game week 1, you know, I'm not really asked. It doesn't really matter. You know, how far away is game week 1? It's what, 2.5 weeks? Is it 2 weeks? So hopefully they just get one done by then. It's one of those things that we don't really need to know about as well. You know, we don't really need to hear a here we go soon. We don't need to hear they're in talks. We don't need to hear. We don't need to know. Stuff should just be happening behind the scenes. It should just get announced and everybody should just be like, right, that's done. Ticked off the list. Fantastic. If you're waiting to buy a shirt because you want to have a sponsor on it, I hear it, but you're going to have to just wait. For me, I don't really mind. I just got the shirt without it. So it is what it is. I'm happy. 2 weeks today. So we play on Sunday, isn't it? 1:30 kickoff or something like that against Crystal Palace. Then there's Man United, Arsenal just after. So yeah. Damak is not going to be the one. No, because they just wanted a short-term thing. Sell some apartments and yeah, little launch and that was it. So that's that done. Let's see what else is going on. But yeah, no updates, no news. We should be no short of offers. We should be no short of people interested. So that shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. Qatar Airways will be the sponsor. Obviously, you want it to look nice, but again, I'm not too bothered. I just want us to get the biggest and best deal, most money coming in, because that helps us financially. That helps us get better players, hopefully, or whatever. So whatever they need it for. Right. I'm just going through the chat. Big Six watch along for United Arsenal. Of course. Can't wait. Hopefully it's off the back of a win. I don't know if Eze is still going to be in a Crystal Palace shirt. I don't know if Mateta is still going to be in a Crystal Palace shirt. He probably will be, to be honest. I don't think he's really kicking up a fuss to leave in a World Cup year. Pretty settled, sorted, going to play every week. But yeah, hopefully after a win, because, Man United, Arsenal straight after, and I'll be going straight from my watch-along over to that one. And I'd like to be going over there with a win, ideally, not after a shock loss or some sort of draw or some bullshit. So, yeah. Obviously, I will maybe temper expectations on performance to a degree because, like I said, Club World Cup, 2 preseason games, and then bang. I don't know the fitness levels. I don't know how the guys are at the moment. They might get off to a slower start performance-wise purely because of the fact that we've had the Club World Cup. But even if the performances aren't perfect, please find a way to just get the results. It's really just about the results. We're playing in London throughout the first 4 fixtures, I think. Even if the performances are a bit dodgy, people are a bit jaded or whatever, we have a big squad, so, we should have quite a few fresh players in there anyway, but we've got to get the results. You've got to win those first few games. If we're going to be talking about titles and all this kind of stuff, the early start there has got to be looking good for us. Release clause expired. Yeah, it did, but then I heard I heard Arsenal didn't really care too much about the expiry on the release clause. They were happy to just go ahead with negotiating without it. So I don't really know what's going on there, to be honest. I don't know what's going on at all. Let's see. 2 weeks today, yeah. Expectations of Liam Delap. Really all depends about minutes at the end of the day. Depends on minutes. With Liam, I'm happy with him coming in as an option, not as a starter, like a out and out. We have to rely upon him week in, week out. I think that's a bit of a big jump from Ipswich to Chelsea to be starting week in, week out. So I'm happy with his position. It's like 2nd/3rd with Jackson off the bench. Hopefully really good impact, physical, rattle a few cages. Definitely focus on getting some goals as well, of course. And it all depends on minutes. If João Pedro is smacking in 20 goals in the Prem, and Liam Delap is really then struggling to get into the team and he's just coming off the bench and playing cup games because João Pedro is just in form and you don't really take someone out that's in form, then I'm not expecting, loads and loads from Delap in terms of goals, maybe 10 goals in the campaign. It might end up being, if he doesn't get loads of minutes, depends. It's all circumstantial to what is happening around him at the end of the day. If he was playing 30 out of 38 games from the start, then I'm going to have to bump that up to a minimum 1 goal every 2 games, 15 goals, 30 starts, minimum. That's what you've got to be doing as a Chelsea number 9. Obviously, we're sharing out the goals, but at the same time, we need people to be putting the ball in the back of the net because the chances are going to come, up front. We've heard it with Jackson many a time. Share the goals out as much as you want. You're going to get chances as a striker for Chelsea. This team created the 2nd most amount of chances in the Premier League last season. Enzo Fernandez is going to create a chance for you. Cole Palmer is going to create a chance for you. Hopefully, Gittins will create plenty of chances off the dribble. Esteval, Neto, a couple crosses coming in. There will be chances. So you got Simmons if he signs, which he should. He's going to play those little passes in between defenders. There's going to be chances. So you got a bag. Got a bag. They think we're not contenders, says JJ. Kit number predictions. For who? Most of them have been given, to be honest now. So, right. Scrolling. We don't have a starting left wing. Are you worried? Well, I mean, if Simmons gets confirmed, which it should, he could play off the left, but you've got to have somebody overlapping, and that will be Cucurella. And Cucurella, you know, he'll get goals. We've seen that. He works his bollocks off. He's got great box movement, which is weird. He'll attack the crosses, headers, little tap-ins, or, you know, shots. He'll make the underlapping runs as well, give an option off the ball, drag a few defenders away, and that might open up some space. Is it the absolute top shelf level left back on the overlap with the crossing and whatnot? No, it's not Reece James, but it will have to do. It will have to do. You know, the best left back last season in the league will have to do. So I'm not too concerned. He was a winger at Barca. Maybe so, yeah, but I still don't see him as that kind of guy. I do still see him as that more back. You know, if you're attacking with 5, you're defending with 5. In an ideal situation, I'm having Cucurella as one of the guys I'm defending with 5. Because I just feel like recovery, you know, counter press, you know, does his due diligence, gets in people's faces, he's aggressive, he gets the ball back. I just feel like I prefer him back there. And from a passing perspective, from a fluidity perspective, link-up perspective, Cucurella is not offering me those things in the final third. He's offering me goals, he's offering me good movement, he's offering me box crashing, he's offering me output, but he's not offering me, you know, better general play to create, you know, on the ball. So it just depends on what you're asking for. Cool. What else are we doing here? Let me just go through Fabrizio's latest as well, if I've missed anything. Let's see. Time flies, you know. It's 8:30 already. Exclusive Hato interview, yes. Paulinho's gone to Tottenham. Interesting one there. Also, Nunes looks like he's going to go Saudi. I wonder if there's going to be anybody investigating. That'll make it, what, 4-4? Maybe 5-4 if we're including Angelo. Kante was a free. It's crazy. They also sold some random kid I've never heard before today. I think he left for like 15 million euros as well. Again, another homegrown player goes. Kicked out ruthlessly. Oh, dear. An hour ago, Fabrizio. Fuck off. You're taking a piss. There's no way this is not a recent thing, surely, guys. There's no way this is a recent thing that I need to be reading again. When you said PYS tweeted, is this what you meant? Don't forget the name I've been saying for weeks, for months. Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea are fully aware that Garnacho appreciates Chelsea. Garnacho wants Chelsea and he's waiting for Chelsea. Okay, I'm going to say this very clearly, and I want you to listen to me right now. Because people think that I've got an agenda on Fabrizio, when really I've got nothing of the sort. I don't really give two shits, to be honest, right? He's a great reporter, and he's very much an important figure in the community. However, how many times do you need to say the same thing? How many times do you need to say the same thing in one day? Because you be the same person complaining when all these kids asking you for updates. Same person complaining, replying, I already told you. Why do you think they keep asking? Because you keep talking. No one asked you for a Garnacho update. Nobody. You've already told us Garnacho is interested in Chelsea. You've already told us Chelsea are interested in Garnacho. If you have nothing more to add, not even a little bit to add, because now
You're not even adding things. You're just changing the words and moving them around and restructuring the same sentence and relaying it out there. If you have nothing to add, nothing at all, would it kill you to just shut up? Would it kill you to just shut up? Is that a problem? Is that going to be an issue for you? Are you being paid per tweet? Like, I need answers now, because it's just not necessary. I understand the style of reporting has changed. I understand people want updates. Gone are the days where we just get the here we go and that's it. The official communications, the announcement. But you're not adding anything. You're not adding anything. And this is about the 6th or 7th day now. You've just said the same thing. And I don't know why. So, yes, you're good at your job. Yes, you're unbelievably good at your job. But when people are saying, have you got ulterior, have you got other motives? Ulterior motives? Have you got other things going on? Like, why? Why? What's going on? Why? Because like when you're asked, if someone asks now and they say, oh, are you getting paid by the agents? No, that doesn't happen. It's illegal. That's against the laws, FIFA regulations. Okay, sorry for asking, but you're moving mad. So I have to ask questions, innit? So what do you want from me? Of course I'm going to ask, because you're moving mad. This is not sane. This is not normal. This is not normal behavior. So we have to ask questions. We have to, yes. Are you being manipulated? Are you being persuaded? Fuck. Like, we won't forget. If that's what you're afraid of, we know when this happens, we know you said it first, okay? Is that all right now? We know you said it first. Nobody will ever question where this news came from. We know Fabrizio said it first. No doubt, no question. No worries. You said it first. We knew for months, for days, for weeks. You said it first, brother. Please. We know. Shut up now, please. I beg of you. Be quiet. We get it. We understand. We get it, man. We get it. All right. It's a Sunday. It's a day of rest. It's a day of recuperation. It's a day of reflection. For some, it's a day of worship. But it's most certainly a day of rest. So you rest. Spend time with the family. With the missus, if there is one. Just go outside, maybe even touch grass. You know what I mean? I've just been saying to the chat, touch grass, touch some grass. Put your phone down. Put your phone down. It's overheating. It's burning. I know you're in Italy somewhere, the temperatures are soaring. Phone's burning, battery's gonna blow up. Put the phone down. Put the phone down. There's no update. All right? There's nothing more to say. There's nothing more to say. I'm looking out for Fabrizio. Some of you guys, you just want Fabrizio to just go off the edge. Some of you guys want Fabrizio to, you know what I mean, to end up in a mental asylum or some shit. I'm looking out for Fabrizio. I just want to look after Fabrizio at the end of the day. I want Fabrizio to be good. I want him to be good. I don't want him to feel like he needs to do this. There's a better life for you. You're above this now. You're above this. There is more for you in this world than this. I promise you. Don't listen to them 16-year-olds on Twitter asking you for updates. Don't mind them. Ignore them. Ignore them. He's a better man than me, man, because he's moving mad. It's crazy, bro. I remember when he used to work for The Guardian, for Sky. when he used to write reports. God damn them days, man. Fuck. Anyway, hopefully he's all right, man, because I said it. Dementia. It's dementia, man. These reporting, this style of reporting is dementia right now. And I want to be the one to say that I spotted the signs first. For days, for weeks, for months, I was telling you this dementia. Dementia. I was telling you from way back. I had the first scoop. Dementia. I said it first. If there's some breaking news, let that be the breaking news. Let us not forget who said this first. This shit right here is dementia. This is not good. It's not something to be applauding. It's not something to be clapping. This is a man. A man with a future. All right? And he doesn't deserve this. So don't be applauding this shit. I know when I question it, people be in the Twitter saying, "Yeah, shut up. You can't say that." I'm like, bruv. Men's mental health. You know what I mean? This ain't a joke. This ain't a joke. That's fine. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Some people care, some don't. You know what I mean? What can you do? For a ruthless world we're living in. But this Garnacho story, this is long, man. It's getting long. But there's nothing more to add. So yes, there is no update. There's just nothing more to say. There's nothing more to say, guys. If it's a tactic from the club to kind of like calm everybody down on the emotional outburst that will happen once it's announced, you're doing a great job. You're wearing the people down every day, twice a day, morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Everybody's gotten worn down. By the time this gets done, people are going to be, they're not even going to care anymore. They're not even going to care anymore. So you're doing a great job. The tactic is definitely working. Right, let's see what's going on. Big up the chat. Anything else? What else is there going on here? Anything else that we need to answer? Any more questions that we need to address and answer? Let me go up the chat. It's probably... Oh, bro. Madueke clear of Garnacho. Someone's saying. It's going to be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Do you think the reason we haven't gone back in for a keeper is because we have a gentleman's agreement with Mike Maignan to pick him up in the winter? I don't think so. I mean, look, I don't know how serious our interest was really for him. I can't really say that I'm too convinced from the whole thing. The way I saw it, it looked very cheeky on our part. Yes, people can say AC Milan have dealt with us in ways before and we wanted our revenge. That was under a different sporting director on both sides. Especially on the AC Milan side. They've changed sporting director since those deals. At the end of the day, it's, do you really want the keeper that badly? And clearly, the answer was no, because we didn't move heaven and earth, and we didn't really even need to. Just needed to put in a respectable offer. We didn't want to do that. The only thing I will say about him is, why would he agree to sign with us now when he doesn't know what offers are going to be available to him on the table next summer or next January? You know, I don't think he's a Chelsea fan. I don't think he necessarily... Yes, of course, Chelsea's an option, but I don't think there's any benefit of him having... What is a gentleman's agreement in football, really? It's nothing, you know? If it's not pen to paper, it doesn't mean anything. So there's a whole host of clubs that will probably be looking at a goalkeeper, and he'll just assess his options. And I don't know if he'll be motivated by winning trophies, wages, whatever. But all I know is that we have not signed him, so he is not our keeper. And we should not feel comfortable or like there's guarantees that he will be ours. We don't know what other clubs will come in. We don't know where his head's going to be at. We don't know if AC Milan will get him on a new contract. We don't have no control over none of these variables. So for me, unless the player is signed for Chelsea, it's not our player. So I'm not going to pat us on the back for something that's not even done. You know, a lot of people, they want to do pats on the back for deals we don't complete. Why? The deal didn't get done, you know? So it's all hypotheticals now. It's not real. It's not real. It doesn't exist. It's a fugazi, it's a fugazi, it's a woozy, it's a wazi. So if we sign him, fantastic. But we have not. Garnation. Fucking hell, rants. Jesus. Do you know what? The most concerning thing about this whole Garnacho thing for me is just the way the Man United fans are not pushing him out. It's the lack of attributes. When I ask for attributes, I don't get good feedback. I don't get anything good. Even in my comment section, the video, over 1,200 comments. Big up for the engagement, for the reaction, for the responses. I love it. We love to exchange ideas, brainstorm, spider diagrams. That's what we do here. I didn't find much substance. I didn't find much attributes. I found a lot of hopium. I found a lot of copium. Shit that I've heard for Arsenal fans say for Havertz, that we laughed at them for. Shit that I've heard Arsenal fans say for Madueke at left wing. Shit that we've laughed at them for. Shit that I heard Man United fans when we sold them players. The same rubbish and the same lunacy that those fan bases said when they signed our players and we laughed in their faces, I'm hearing the same shit over here with this player. I'm hearing the same shit. Forcing yourself to find ways to rate him. Talking about fearless dribbling, as in we didn't grow up on Eden Hazard. As if we didn't grow up on real dribblers. Real 1v1 demons. Real dribblers up in here. And we're trying to demonstrate fearless dribbling like it's like an attribute. So, look, I'd love to be wrong. If we sign him, I'm going to back him. I'm going to support him until he gives me a reason not to. If he starts costing us points, everybody's get a 2-year kind of time span. And then you know how I roll. That's my rule. 2 years. And then I'll make my final conclusion. And then start sale. All that stuff, right? You don't need to worry about that with me. But, like I said, I don't want to lie. The one thing I'm not going to come on here and do is lie. If I've got an opinion, I'm going to give it, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether it's in favor of Chelsea, whether it's against Chelsea, whether we're signing the player. What I don't want now is, the player's coming in now, so let me just line up all my ducks in a row because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to say that he's not going to, I don't want to say I don't rate him because if he bangs, I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong. That's what you need to understand. I don't care if I'm wrong. But I care about telling you what I actually think because that's what we're here for. I want to know what you think. Not lining up your ducks in a row to get everything all patterned because the player's coming. Fuck all that. We're not doing that. Not doing that. The player's leaving now. Oh yeah, never rated him, never liked him. Yeah, sell him, bun him. What's that? When he was here, it was all rainbows and sunshines and stuffs. You know what I mean? I'm not here for it. People will tell me, I didn't get any attributes really. I got a little bit of off the ball movement, which I agree with. I got a little bit of tenacity, desire, self-belief, fearless dribbling. I got all of that. I also got, Cole Palmer and João Pedro, so why not Garnacho? Boy, oh boy. Oh, brother. Cole Palmer came through one of the most high-end academies in the country, along with ours. Technically, that's what they do with Pep. Tech. They work on technical level. Tech. Lavia. Tech. Tossing. Really good line breaker with the passing, even though he's way older. Cole Palmer. Tech. 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 Sancho. Tech. Whatever. So there's a technical level and a base that you're getting from Man City at this point. You know what you're getting in terms of the technical level. There's no technical scrub coming out of that academy unless they've been released a long time ago. And João Pedro, we said in the video, technically, we like him. Technically, he's solid. We know this. Everybody knows João Pedro is not a scrub, technically. This is not new information. It was just, is he going to fit the system? How is he going to fit? Where is he going to play? How much game time is he going to get? And by the way, it's only been a couple of games, but he looks like he's going to get a very important role. Fantastic. That's not really what we're talking about here. I am questioning the technical level of this player. I'm not telling you I like this player. I'm telling you I don't rate this player highly. I'm telling you I don't know the technical level of this player coming into Chelsea Football Club. I'm really questioning it. So there's no point comparing him to players that have worked, because I could compare him to players that haven't. I can sit here and tell you about Mudryk when we signed him from Shakhtar Donetsk for 62 million initial, and everybody was getting excited because he scored a long shot against Celtic. And I said, what are we doing? What are we doing? This guy is raw. He's not ready. And now I don't even know where he is. You know, unfortunately, he's suspended and he's gone nowhere to be found. And we have Disasis of this world who are not technically really on the level to play for this club. The point is, we can all bring our wins and we can bring our L's, we can bring our W's, we can bring our L's. We can exchange all of these players' names, and there'll be some that worked and some that didn't work. Case by case basis. Because there's no point signing James Ward-Prowse and saying, well, Cole Palmer worked, so why not? You know, it don't really work like that. So it's a case-by-case basis. And for me, on this case, I do believe that this is a market opportunity more than it's a tactical fit. And I do believe it is an opportunity to flip and a spin. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it if you make sure that the starting 11's patterned. And like I said, if this was a backup option and he hasn't got the ego and he's ready to come off the bench and be an impact, which is what he's done at Manchester United, many Man United fans are saying it, off the bench, really good impact, injection of energy, comes on, just gets about and just imposes himself on the game, makes things happen. You know, you get some output here and there. No problem. Well, there is still a problem, but you can stomach it. It's the fact that it's Gittins and him on that left wing, and there isn't really a clear guy that we can rely upon consistently and depend on. That's why I'm kind of putting all my eggs in the Gittins basket and hoping and praying that he's just going to blow. But it's not something that I'm encouraging at left wing when I want us to go for the title. Let's see. Scored twice against us in a 4-3. Again, it's not really good enough. We conceded the most amount of Premier League goals in our history since the Premier League began under Pochettino. Everybody scored against us. Scoring against Chelsea that season was not an accomplishment. In fact, if you didn't do it, there was something quite significantly wrong with you. Everybody scored against us. We conceded the most amount of goals we've ever conceded. It was something like 62 goals or 60-something goals in 38 games. You think because you had a couple of breakaways on the counter and scored against us, suddenly I'm going to rate you? No. No. There's got to be better arguments made on this. It's not strong enough for me. I'm sorry. And the reason why I'm not taking in this copium and this hopium is because I know that after the honeymoon phase, there's reality. There's week in, week out. I don't want to be doing watch-alongs here and the chat's going mad because Garnacho is starting. You know what I mean? Oh, shit, he's starting. Fuck, the manager, Maresca, can't stand this guy. That is all to come. In my opinion, that is all to come. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but that is all to come. After all of this, all of these random, silly little excuses that are being made or reasons that are being, you know, put forward. 3 years Premier League experience in the worst Man United side ever. Never hides, never injured. That, you know, listen, the durability is a very, very fair thing. Like, he's durable. The guy doesn't get injured. Absolutely. So at least we know that we're going to get significant minutes out of him, I guess. I don't know if playing in the worst Man United team is a compliment or it's not. I've seen it before. People say it's a compliment because you're in an unstable environment, not a great system, and you're flourishing. Flourishing is a strong word, but you're surviving in circumstances that are not tailor-made for you. And I hear that. The other argument I'd put in place is that I think his style, as in what he is, suits an environment that, not unstable, but I think he suits a team that doesn't have maybe loads of possession, that does have space to run into. When you look at his underlying metrics, a lot of it is progressive carries and running into space. Like, he's better doing that. I don't think he's a player that is going to flourish in low blocks or is going to flourish with, you know, little time and space and has to think really quick. I think the space that he gets in that team to hit teams on the break, I think that's good for him. I think if he went to a Nottingham Forest, I think that would be good for him in terms of you're playing on the break. Low block, you're high and wide, receive, bare space, break. 3v3, 3v4. I think that suits him. And the reason why I think that suits him is because he's not a great dribbler. And to go up against those low blocks, you need to either be a great passer or a great dribbler. I don't think he's either. Now, your case may be we're not going to play him as, we're not going to use him against low blocks. Okay, cool. We're going to just keep him for counterattacks. Cool. As long as his ego can handle that, because we're going to come up against a lot of low blocks at home at Stamford Bridge, where he might not make any sense. So you do need runs off the ball, absolutely against low blocks. I'm not trying to discredit that. You do need off the ball movement. Cole Palmer's got the ball. You need someone making a run. If Simmons or whoever's got the ball, you need someone making a run. So he'll be good for that kind of stuff. But then, just know that you can't play through him and that he needs to just be comfortable with rotated minutes, in my opinion. And I just hope that his ego can handle that, because there's a lot of signals and signs to say that he doesn't like that kind of thing. That don't float his boat. But Neto arguably already does that for you. When people say we're missing that profile, Neto off the ball, making those runs in behind, hard work, grafting up and down, not necessarily a dribbler, but gets past people. We've already got that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one to me. All right, let's see. And some people are saying he's lazy off the ball. I hope not. If there's one thing that you're going to have to be, is you're going to have to be a hard worker. Because from a technical level, you're not really taking the team anywhere new. You're not coming in here like a Rafael Leao, and you're taking us to another level technically. So you're gonna have to work hard. So if anyone's saying he's lazy, which I'm not completely aware of him being lazy. Maybe he started to, like Rashford, become lazier towards the end because he fell out with the manager. I don't know. Man United fans, if you're in the chat, let me know. I don't know if he's lazy. I haven't put that on him. I kind of almost put that on the other way. I expect him to be hardworking, to press, energetic at 20 as well. Loads of mileage in the tank. Absolutely no reason to be lazy. So I'm not expecting any of that. So yeah, if he is lazy, let me know in the chat. But that is not something I've not even thought about that. Because for me, there's just no way he can be. It's just not possible. It's not possible that you're not going to track your fullback. You're not going to stay switched on with all that extra experience, 3 years in the Prem, all that. No excuses for lapses of concentration, for not working hard, for not busting a bollocks. There's no excuse for any of that rubbish. So that's certainly not something I'm even contemplating or excusing. That's just not happening. At the bare minimum, you got to work hard if you're coming here. It's a massive opportunity if he comes here. It's an opportunity that he wasn't even guaranteed to get. We're world champions. In my opinion, we're pretty well placed to go and get a lot better, to really try and take this team to the next level on that wing. There's no reason for you to be coming in here with ego and not working hard. That's wild. You're not that guy. What else is being said in the chat? Nonny hit 9. Big up. Yeah. 130 indeed, brother. Big up. It's funny actually, because I was just let me read it. But I was actually just looking earlier today about when we hit 10K. Let me actually show you guys. So we hit 10K subscribers, because I actually have it highlighted. We hit 10K subscribers on the 13th of February 2021, which is obviously during COVID. Now we've hit 130. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. Looking back on the 10K hit, I've even got it, taking a picture of it, because I remember how much 10K actually really, it meant a lot. You seeing that figure on the channel. Let me just see if I can even tap on the screen, just get it zoomed in. Not really, but I tried. So yeah, to be at 130 is absolutely insane. And I'm now at a point, where mentally, I'm I'm just trying to push people. Like, I'm just pushing. And that doesn't mean in terms of frequency of uploads. That means in terms of quality of uploads. And that means in terms of upgrading and improving and making sure that when I do speak, I got a lot to say. I'm not just regurgitating anything, or I'm not doing any filler. Anytime I upload, I want you to feel like, oh shit, he has something to say. That for me is, or he's got something to do to entertain us, or something different to bring, whether it's a vlog. I don't want you to feel like, I can skip that one. And that is the essence for the next level for me. So for me, I'm like I said, I don't take the position for granted. I'm buzzing. And yeah, man, thank you again for all the support. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you haven't seen yet that is very difficult for me to shut up about, because right now it don't look like nothing's happening. But you know shit is happening, really, hopefully, because, every year the upgrade is just crazy, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's always something new. It was only a year ago we actually got this setting. Let me just frame up. It was only a year ago we got this setting, and we had all of the kind of builder's tape, and I was wearing the hard hat for last pre-season because we was in a new house. Obviously we did the house tour, so this is all new. And if you think that I'm going to just settle for this, then you don't know who I am, clearly, because I'm just getting started. So, you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to hopefully everything being ready for the first Premier League game of the season. The watch-alongs. You had Robert come to the FA Cup final, Crystal Palace versus Man City. We had Robert come over. Obviously, he was in America. Again, if you think I'm going to stop there with the special guests, the special kind of surprises through the door, there's so much to come. So yeah, you just gotta let me cook. You just gotta let me cook, to be honest, because we got a lot going on. What's going on here? Kellyman is a PSR. Don't worry about Kellyman. Also, these guys be very cheeky online. They keep doing this, and obviously it's for clicks, so it is what it is. But it's very disingenuous when people are putting Kellyman in our first team squad. I know on the website he's there. But I'm sure if I go to Man City's website, Liverpool's website, Arsenal's website, I'm going to see some names on there that aren't really relevant. So let's not lie. Kellyman is a PSR deal. He ain't really playing here. He's had a whole heap of injuries, needs a loan, needs to be fit first, if he isn't right now. We don't need to do this, where is Kellyman going to play? And I'm not talking to you guys, I'm talking to the media. We don't need to do this whole, where's David Datra Fofana going to play? We don't need to do these things. Why is Gilchrist on the list? Why is he there? We know he's leaving. We know he's not part. Why are we overdoing it? Why? Over dramatizing how many players are involved at Chelsea. We don't need to. They don't need to do that. Like we know we got loads of players, so just stick to the ones that are actually involved. I don't get it, but it's crazy to me. It's crazy. But that's why we need to just get these players off our books, because it's just tiring seeing names that are not going to be here, not part of the plan, part of the future of the team. I need them moved on permanently so we can stop all this, because it's just long. You know what I mean? It's long. Just get these man moved on so we can move on. Because seeing these guys' names popping up all the time is just silliness now. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Purchases like Garnacho are necessary to grease the wheels. If you want United to keep buying your players, you have to take some hits too. It's a two-way street. Oh, damn. But I like just robbing them, man, every time. What do you mean we got Nah, I don't want to hear that. I'll be real. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear it. We haven't bought an Arsenal player and they keep buying players off of us. Why do we need to buy a United player? And to be fair, Man United don't really buy loads of players off us. It's more Arsenal. If you go through it, Man United, it's Juan Mata, Mason Mount, and Nemanja Matic. Now, as far as I'm concerned, to be truthful, all three of those players have quality. Mason Mount was a 2-time player of the year at Chelsea. The last one, I think, should have gone to Rudiger, but it is where it is. At the end of the day, 2-time player of the year. Pivotal part in the Champions League win, etc. Not a Kai Havertz or a Timo Werner who are really just on borrowed time and not putting up any statistics. This guy was actually influential and important. So they got a good player there. And he had a lot of injuries and he hasn't been able to play. But I don't think they signed a scrub. And I don't think that... They're just unfortunate it didn't work out. That's their business. And the Man United, title winner. Just about to fall off. But again, it's not... Who are we to know that was going to happen? That was a good player. Just because you didn't get the best out of him. The Man United's 2-time Premier League champ. That's not my business that you didn't get. You know what I mean? And then one matter. Again, how many player of the years? 2-time player of the year at Chelsea again? And it didn't work out. Again, that's not my business. It didn't work out for Di Maria. It ain't working out for Schweinsteiger. It ain't working out for Schneiderlin. It ain't work, bro. It's a you problem now. At some point, some sort of accountability and self-reflection needs to take place at Manchester United. It's not always everybody else's fault. The amount of players that have gone over there and failed, you got to start looking at yourselves. So I don't want to really hear nothing about Man United or robbed. Nah. Arsenal is different because it's an ongoing thing on a regular basis. But with Man United, nah. I think it's a them issue. It's a them issue, to be honest. So I don't really feel like we need to be sweetening them or anything, to be honest. I feel like everything is completely fine the way it is with Man United. Don't need to be helping them out or making amends. Nah. They wanted good players. We gave them good players. You know what I mean? We gave them good players. Let's see. He's not particularly good at defending. He's fast or lose the physical battle. Yeah, I've heard that a few times that he can lose the physical battle, like shoulder to shoulder. He's not the strongest. Garnacho, so he can be kind of pushed off the ball quite easily. I've heard that. It's not something I've even mentioned, but it's an interesting point to make, actually. Yeah. So maybe he's not... I don't know if he's good at defending. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, it seems like there's definitely reservations on that. Let's see. Also, yes, this is sponsored by Final One Standing as well. That QR code there is for the Final One Standing game, which is free to play. I will be playing it, and it will be going on for the start of the season, of course. Rules were pretty simple, as I explained in the video. You just pick the team that wins, and you need to obviously foresight. That's where the prediction comes in, but you're picking the team that wins. And then if they do win, you're into the next game week and so on for the chance to win $500,000. Now, obviously gamble aware, because if you click into that site and you don't go onto Final One Standing and you go elsewhere and you veer elsewhere, then yes, you do need to be gamble aware. You do need to have some, gambling responsibility on that. So that's why that's in place. So yeah, but big up to them for sponsoring the stream today. And I'll be talking about my picks and who I'm going to pick each game week to win, to try and stay in the game as we get closer to the season. I think our fixtures are quite good at the beginning, so I'm probably going to pick Chelsea in the first 4 games, but I'm going to be pretty strategic and try and foresee when we're definitely going to win, so I don't get caught out. Can Gittins defend? Gittins works his arse off, to be fair. I haven't, there's no issue on that. Now, when it comes to wingers and the quality of their defending, obviously Pedro Neto is pretty high up there. Willian was really good at that because they were just maybe... they probably worked on that a lot more because there was always a Hazard on the other side who obviously didn't. So manager, instruction, training, we're going to need you to kind of pick up the slack and really be very good at this. You can't just be in the right position. You actually need to win the ball back as well. How good is Gittins really going to be at defending as an art form at 20 when his focus is attacking goals? He needs to improve. He needs to improve assists. He needs to improve his pass. He needs to improve crossing. And these are just things that he obviously always needs to keep improving. He's not... Dribbling is something he's already good at. He's not going to focus on 1v1 defending like a Cucurella or a James. It's more just about an extra body being there. Physically, can you go shoulder to shoulder to just barge someone off the ball? Just be there and double up and help and be in the right positions. It's more about up here, mentally, actually wanting to do it, I think, at this point, especially at that age, than it is... he's going to be a bloody extra fullback in a back 5. I'm not expecting that. Obviously, as you get older, maybe you do get better at it, depending on what you're doing from an attacking standpoint. But yeah, I'm not looking at Gittins and saying, do a madness, but just track back. Yeah, he's only 20. Exactly, he's only 20. He's only 20. Esteval can't speak any English as well, which is going to be interesting to see how long it takes him to learn the language or if we communicate with him and how we do that. So that's going to be interesting. I'm surprised that Chelsea didn't have anyone have him learning English since we signed him, which was last summer. Obviously, a whole year. Maybe do some tuition, some classes. I'm surprised we haven't had that, or maybe we have and he just hasn't been able to pick it up. But that's something to bear in mind again. When I talk about Esteval coming in, acclimatizing, getting used to the new culture, new country, language, he's very young. He's going to have his family with him, thankfully, as well, coming to London. But this is why I'm so much, obviously, it's going to have some sort of impact. Just taking in information tactically. Hopefully Maresca can, just speak some Portuguese, Spanish or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, these are really things that we don't discuss, that we won't think on a week-to-week basis, that they have their impact. So I'm trying to encourage as much time and kind of caution, and don't expect craziness from him from the get-go. The one saving grace that is really good to see is that physically he's been going through the trenches in that Brazilian league quite obviously, so he should be fine with all of that. But yeah, all of the other things, that's going to take some time. Let's see. Man said relax on United slander. Remember, we're the only club to have a transfer relationship with all of the 6-7 clubs, bar Tottenham, who don't really count. We have that advantage. Trying to remember the last time we did a deal with Liverpool. Obviously, we did a deal with Sturridge back in the day. Torres obviously coming our way. Trying to think recently if there was anything between Chelsea and Liverpool. Can't remember. I remember when we was trying to get Chamberlain off of Arsenal, and it was between us and Liverpool for him as well. That was quite a late deal in the transfer window. But I can't remember the last time we did a deal with Liverpool directly. Obviously, we got the whole Caicedo and Lavia situation. Solanke is a shout, actually, yeah. Solanke's a shout. Rio, yeah. Rio. Although I don't know if that was necessarily a deal that was negotiated. I feel like they may have just paid a compensation fee because we didn't have him as a pro, or he didn't sign a new contract, so then they just paid a compensation and just took him. I don't think there was mad amounts of negotiation going on there. I don't know. He was really young when he obviously signed for Liverpool, so I'm more talking about first team dealings. Yeah, Disasi's another one, got to be shipped. Indeed. Let's see. You should do Chelsea tier list. Wanted to keep him as well. What attackers suit Delap most? Gittins, Esteval, wings. Look, with Delap, for me, as long as you're playing the ball in behind early and you're direct, you're going to get more from Delap. And that's not because he's come from Ipswich and they were playing really direct and using him as a battering ram and whatnot. It's just from his makeup and the way he plays. I just feel like that's better for him. I don't feel like you should take too long to get the ball forward to Delap. I don't think that's beneficial to him. I don't see him as like a João Pedro where he wants to really be in the pockets and the back heels and the link-ups. He can link up to a competent standard and a level because he's come from Man City. But if you want to maximize Delap, you can see he wants to make runs in behind. He wants to get 1v1 with the keeper, or he wants to go side to side, shoulder to shoulder with a defender, so he can do the argy-bargy, so he can twist him, turn him, get shots off. So that's what I would be encouraging, is to get the ball forward quickly. I think with João Pedro, you could be more patient, more build-up, slower, more methodical. Same with a Jackson, because he's going to do the hold-up, back to goal, all that kind of stuff. Even though Jackson's like a running behind as well. Maybe he's a balance between the two to some degree, actually, to be honest. But Delap is definitely on the other side of the spectrum for me, where you got to get the ball in behind. So whoever the best passers are, and whoever has the best vision, is who I'd be pairing up with Delap. I don't think there's any point putting in a crazy amount of aerial crosses. I want to see João Pedro in the air. I want to see how many headers he's capable of scoring. That's kind of like maybe an unknown to a degree. Delap hasn't really got a massive track record for it, but he'll compete, and Jackson's awful at it. So I'm not really trying to get, again, loads of crosses in the air, but on the ground, Enzo Fernandez in behind, Cole Palmer in behind, and whoever out wide is going to pass the best. That's where Xavi Simons comes in. If Xavi Simons is coming on off that left, he's going to play it in behind. He's going to play the risky pass outside the right boot, in between the lines. He's going to be looking forward. Right side, it's not really Neto's game. Esteval, maybe, but mainly people that are going to play it early and are going to spot the runs. That's what I'd be looking for, to be honest, to pair him with from an attacking standpoint. You kind of wish João Pedro got the 9. Yeah, we gave it to Delap straight away. Gave it to him straight away. So when João Pedro came in, he got the 20. But I'm not too fussed either way, to be honest. 20 is Cole Palmer's old number, so it's not bad luck at all for you to get the 20 in your first season at Chelsea. If you can have that kind of season in your first Chelsea season, then then no problem. Is there anything else I've missed, guys, that I haven't already touched on? Let me know in the chat. I don't want to come off the live and feel like I didn't touch on anything. It's been a long live. It's been 2 hours, but that's fantastic. We haven't done one in a while, so there's no problem there. Let's see. If you're talking about squad numbers, actually, quickly, I want Gittins. I had to think about it because I wasn't sure. I don't know what Simmons is going to get, but 11 is still vacant, Madueke's number. I kind of want them to keep their old numbers. I want Gittins to keep the 43, and I want Esteval to keep the 41. I was kind of jousting between giving one of them the 11, but now I think about it, I do like the fact that they've got those numbers. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they have the opportunity to kind of make something of that number, like make it important, make it memorable, make it their number. So and it also doesn't portray that they are key players and expected to deliver. Because when you give someone the 11 or the 10 or the 7 or whatever, it just gives it a different vibe, a 9, it gives it the vibe of, oh, you better do something. Whereas those numbers are theirs, and it gives them that first season to bed in, develop, and kind of just have these cameos and these moments. And then if they deserve the 11 or they deserve the 7 or whatever it was, then they get it after. So I'm actually quite happy for them to get the 43 and the 41. If it means something personally to them as well, then even better. I know Chalobah had a number that was, personal to him, and then obviously they ripped it off him. So that wasn't very nice. So yeah, if they've got a reason to wear it, go for it. Garnacho will get 17. Who's on 17 at the moment? Santos got 17, so Garnacho won't get that. He might get 11, to be honest, or Simmons. If one of those two might get it. But yeah, because we got so many attackers coming in and we got fuck all numbers to give them, they better just keep the high end numbers, the 43s, the 41s, because we ain't got enough numbers for these attackers. I'll be honest, we've got too many attackers, not enough numbers to give them. So may as well. Obviously, Nkunku's number as well will probably be up for grabs. So that's one that you can give to someone as well. Who else is being sold? Mudrik's got his shirt ripped right off his back, so he ain't even got a number anymore. Also, yes, I keep getting these comments all the time. Where do you get the shirt? Where do you get the badge printed? I went in person. I went to the mega store. I walked it. I line biked it. I trained it. I bust it. As soon as that shit got released in the mega store, the same week I was out there tapping bank account cards, IBANs and BICs. I was on it because I was desperate. Now, I don't know the online situation, because some people have had it ordered from online, come on the wrong size, badges on the sleeve, all sorts of madness. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm pretty sure it's available online now. I'm pretty sure I saw Chelsea tweet it's available online. So I don't know if people still looking for the new kit with the badge. But I think it's online now, so maybe recheck again. But yeah, if the 5 is available, that would be sick for Hato. Absolutely, I think that suits him definitely. Badge is too big. I don't really mind it. I think the badge is better in person than it was online when it got launched. I do still think it's a downgrade from the badge that we had the first time we won it. But it is what it is. It was never going to go on the sleeve, because the sleeve is always going to get a sponsor. So you're going to get a sleeve sponsor, and you're going to get a badge, whether it be Champions League or whatever competition you're in. You got to save that space on the other sleeve for whatever competition you're in. So they're never going to put that badge on any sleeve. They're always going to put it in the shirt. So it's either going to be smaller, bigger, whatever you want, but you're not going to get it on the sleeve, because there's got to be a sleeve sponsor as well. So there's just no space. So that wasn't going to happen. Who do you think is going to start? Okay, cool. So let's just draw up that first Crystal Palace That first Crystal Palace starting 11, just for the shits and gigs. Sanchez will be in goal, right? He will be. Obviously, we need to see the friendlies next week, so we have the watch-alongs there. We need to know what's going on because we don't really know anything right now. But off the top of the dome, if Eze's in that Palace team off the left, defensively, I'm going to want Reece James over there. Now, we've seen Reece James play centre mid. He might do that again. I wouldn't necessarily want to see it at home to Palace. PSG was a different ball game. They're coming on to us. They're having a bit more possession. I get it. Back 5. Palace, I'm not trying to see 5 defenders on the pitch. I'm trying to see Reece James, best 1v1 defender versus Eze, just in case. Mateta getting dealt with by maybe a Tosin and a Colwell, airily. Tosin stronger than Chalobah. Cucurella left back. Hato on the bench. Centre mid, I'm probably going Caicedo next to... This is where you decide between if you're going to play... It really depends on Reece James. If Reece James is at right back and he's going forward, which I don't think he will, like overlap, then you play Palmer on the right. If he's not doing that and he's tucking into the back 3 and Cucurella is going forward, then Palmer's not going to go on the right because he needs an overlap. So Palmer's going to go into the 10, which means you're basically forced now to do Enzo and Caicedo. Santos won't start the first Premier League game anyway, but that was the conundrum. Right wing, maybe... Again, doubt he'll start Esteval. First game, Premier League, probably won't, right? Acclimatizing. So it'll probably be Pedro Neto. Left side, that's where it's interesting. It could be one of, if Garnacho's here, it could be him. Could be Gittins. It could be Simmons, you know, and João Pedro will be up front. I don't think he'll play Delap from the start. I might be wrong. Maybe he go 2 up top. Maybe he'll go Delap and João Pedro, and he'll try and make it a 2-man up front and play Cole Palmer as like a wide playmaker on the right and Pedro Neto on the left. Might be a 4-2-2-2. He might do that. No Eze, probably. Yeah, for me, it depends on Eze because we know Eze is their biggest threat. Like on the ball, from a creative standpoint, that's something that you got to pay attention to. That's the special player. So if he's there, then you got to lock him up. If he's not there, you might go more adventurous. You might go for it a bit more. You know, we got to win anyway. We got to be we got to be winning the game regardless. I don't know if Lavia and Fofana are gonna be fit, so that's why I don't even really mention them from the beginning. To be honest, I just say they'll be on the bench if they're available at best. I don't think Fofana's going to be there. But then Fofana didn't go to the Club World Cup because he was meant to be staying to keep recovering. But I don't know the timeline on when he was meant to be back. That's the problem. I don't know when Fofana is actually meant to return. I don't know if there was a date given or anything like that. So I don't want to speculate and give you false hope because we all know Fofana is it's just long at this point. How much you spend with the kit on the badge? Off the top of my head, I can't even remember. I think the kit was like 80, and then the badge on top of that must have been like maybe a tenner, something like that. So you're talking like 90 quid most likely. Home kit, away kit, same thing. And then on top of that, the green jacket that I was talking about earlier. I love it. I was waxing lyrical about the jacket for the longest. I had to get the jacket. I went in there for the home and the away because I love both our kits. Then I saw the green jacket hanging up and I had a word with myself and I said, you're getting it. So there's no point dilly-dallying now. There's no point delaying the inevitable. You're gonna buy this jacket. So now it's just about tapping the card and just not looking at the price because that jacket is expensive. The jacket's a lot. You know when you go into there and they'll be selling the jacket and the puffer jacket's always got quite a price on it as well. Sometimes if you want it that badly and you have the means to do it and the facilities, you just gotta pay for it. Don't really ask what the price is too much. Don't really look at the tag. Just pay for it and just forget about it. And I had to do that because I wanted the jacket that badly. But usually I got more strength. But I couldn't do it. The jacket is too cold. Do you see Jackson accepting being a third choice and competing with Delap and Pedro? If he leaves, do you see us getting a third striker or would play Neto there as an option? Now we got Cucurella and RCB cover. Okay, so for me, centre back, I'm not really bothered now. I'll be honest. I said this towards the back end of last season. They have made strides, and we were the third best defence in the league last year. So it's for me, if you wanted an upgrade on the defence, if you wanted to mitigate and eradicate the errors leading to goal, which Sanchez had a lot of at the earlier part of the season, then you just upgrade the goalkeeper and you leave the centre backs, because the centre backs are not really committing loads of errors, in my opinion, anymore. So you got Tosin, you got Chalobah, you got Colwell, you got Badia Shill. They all seem to be staying. You're selling Disasi, and Fofana's still there as the fifth, because you can't sell an injured player. And on top of that, I believe Acheampong, if you're looking for young centre-backs that have high potential, high ceilings on the right side, RCB, he is one of the highest ceilings in the world for that position in his age group. I'm taking it to that level. Yes, that's how much I believe in that talent. If we get rid of him, I believe he's going to a top club. He's like Man City are interested in Livramento. They'd probably like a Lewis Hall before Out Nori. That's the kind of level of, like, for me, top clubs in 1-2 years, after a Bournemouth little stint, couple seasons, they're taking him. Absolutely, they're taking him. That's what I think. So I'm not really too bothered on centre-backs, because I want more minutes for Acheampong, or we've already got guys there that are steady eddies. And then striker, I've said it, in my video, I'd keep Jackson as a third choice. He keeps coming out with the comments on, I want to fight. I'm not really thinking about if I'm a starter, I'm just here for the team. I'm just here to compete for my place. He's saying all the right things. So when someone's saying all the right things and they're in that position in the depth chart, I can't complain. I can't complain, because I know in the market, if you're going for a third choice striker, you're not getting anything great. Not with the restrictions that we have on age, wage. We're not getting a Mateta. We're not getting a Wissa. We're not getting a Giroud type player way back when. Experienced third choice. It's not happening. So scrub all those guys off the list. You're not getting a Sesko because he wants game time and he wants to be, developing and playing regularly from the start. So you can scrub all of those guys off the list. So what are you getting? And this was my point in the video. If we get an injury up front, do you want to have one fit guy and a kid, or a misprofiled winger as your second option after that? For me, no. I would rather have a striker like Jackson who, okay, he doesn't strike well, but he plays up front, leads the line, and you get goals off the flanks, and he just facilitates. I'd rather have that, someone that knows how to play the position, because he's got experience doing it, bit of chemistry of Palmer, and we know he can create for Palmer. Palmer scored off goals off Jackson in the first season. I'd rather have that go into a tough game than have a winger up there who's just there to press and make runs, and he should really be out wide. So I'm not thinking about flipping Jackson right now. I'm just thinking about having the best options for all four competitions. Obviously, if 60, 70 million came in, then you got to have a conversation, but that's not going to happen. Newcastle look like they're going for Sesko. It look like they're going to go for Wissa. Man United, I don't know what they're doing. Let's see if the bid comes. But yeah, I don't really see anything coming in at the moment, to be honest. It seems like he wants to stay. It seems like we don't mind keeping him. So yeah. And yeah, some people say Jackson can play as a winger. I don't think the manager sees him like that. If he did, we wouldn't be going for Garnacho. We wouldn't be looking for another winger on top of Simmons. So I don't think he's going to play over there. But it seems like Chelsea want 8 or 9 attackers. And that's 2 for each position in a 4-2-3, 3-1. So 4 positions, 2 each position. And then if you're going 9, you've got 3 strikers and then 2 10s, 2 right wingers, 2 left wingers. So it's a lot of depth. But it's needed because we all saw everybody's injury crisis. Arsenal last season, injury crisis at times, all sorts, all comps, World Cup year. I'm not too bothered about it. But yeah, it seems like Jackson's accepting it, bro. So until Jackson comes out and says, I need to be a starter, and it can't be briefed, by the way, Fabrizio or Clearlake, you can't lie about this. It has to really come from Jackson. Or no character assassinations. If he comes out and says that, then of course, I don't want an unhappy player here. I'm not really too asked, if he says that, off you go. But he hasn't said that yet, so he hasn't said that. Yeah, big up, man. Smash up the lights. Let's get to 1,000 lights as well. It's 1.3K in the building. Let's just get to as close as 1,000 as possible. Big up, everybody. We're going to wrap up soon. Centre-back market is rubbish. Don't force signings. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I can't really give you loads of options at centre back right now. Not ones that I think are like absolutely worth splashing on and they're going to take this team to the next level. I had the wild shout in Romero, very controversial shout, but I think there's a quality defender in there. Atletico obviously aren't moving on him. Man of the match against United in the final. I think there's leadership qualities, there's ball playing, there's high line experience, pace, there's aggression, tenacity. There's obviously a hothead who could get sent off, but there's reasons why I wanted him. Forget the Tottenham things for a second. Like there's a lot of attributes because I'm giving you them. You know what I mean? I ain't saying fearless dribbler. I'm giving you the attributes. Like whether you agree or not, at least I can give you reasons. You know what I mean? He's good on the ball. He's good on the ball. You know, he's a leader. He's done it for Argentina. He's like I said, he's dominant in the air. Dominant on the ground. Go and look at his stats on the ground, in the air, duels, very high, always in the 60s, season in, season out. So I can give you a reason as to why it would make sense. But it's not going to happen because we don't do deals with Tottenham. And I don't really have loads of other guys. He is injury. Yeah, there is some injury issues. So that's definitely a bad thing there. Bastoni, yeah, it's not going to happen. We just got Hato and we got Colwell, Badiashile. We're not getting another left-footed centre-back. That's not happening. That's not happening. Let's see. All right, last couple of things before we wrap. But yeah, I'm happy with. I really think Achampong has got something, man. If we gave him minutes, bruh, I really think we got a gem, absolute gem. Let's see before we wrap. We should go for Saliba. Man said we should go for Saliba, Anselmino, and this is the thing. I want to see what this Anselmino brother's all about. Now, it might just be for profit, but my first and foremost thing is if we've found someone that's been scouted and there's some sort of talent, my first thought is okay, let's see how they do and how they are. Mamadou Sarr's back out on loan at Strasbourg. Is another centre back, by the way, that's meant to have potential and all these things. They might be just for profit, but first and foremost, I want to see if they're too good for that. If they're too good for that, if they're the level of, oh, they actually need to be at Chelsea, they actually need to start, they could help us, then there needs to be some sort of way for them to get into the team. So we've already got a lot of centre-backs. Forget, after you sell Disasi, we've already got loads of centre-backs. Like young, experienced, with Chalobah, Tosin, we've got the guys So I want to see what these guys are about first before adding in more. If Anselmino goes out on loan and absolutely rips it apart, problem solved, you know? But if you keep buying without assessing what you have whilst you're buying it, like it's just normal. Just assess what you have first. Good development path. Make sure you give them an opportunity to kind of impress you. See what they do. If they don't do anything, move on to the next. But like, if you're not going to at least assess what's going on when you're bringing it in, you're just going to keep moving on to the next, moving on to the next, moving on to the next, moving on to the next. Then how the hell are you ever going to go anywhere? Do you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, thankfully Santos, we've done that. And look at him now, he's in the team. So, all right, we're going to wrap up. It's been a long stream. It's been a lot longer than I expected it to be. But you know what? We needed this. We needed a nice catch up. And I think we've done that. Xavi has a season with 22 goals scored, played left forward. Yeah? 22 goals in all comps. Maybe that must be the Dutch league. I'm assuming. But maybe I'll go check it out after. He's got decent statistics so far. I'm not really bothered about the stats really with him, I'll be honest. It's the footballing brain and intelligence that I think he can help with when Palmer's not around that I'm more focused on. All right. We're gonna wrap. Great stream, guys. Great stream, great chat. Like I said, watch-alongs next week. We got AC Milan, I think, is it? If I'm right, I think I am. Bayer Leverkusen. I think I'm right in saying those are the two guys we got. So we got watch-alongs for those. And yeah, we're looking at the Simmons deal. You know the video is ready. Simmons, you know what I mean? Let's see if it gets done this week. I'll be keeping my eye on all the transfers, all the things going on. We'll see what happens with Isak. Obviously, if that materializes, Man United, what they're doing, what's going on with the striker there. Obviously, if they're going to come in for one of our guys, or we're going to go in for one of those guys. So we're keeping up. We're keeping up. But we'll be moving on. Big up your damn selves. Love and guidance, guys, as always. And yeah, man, looking forward to the next one of these. Until next time, in a bit, people. Peace. Love.